The day is here and things are a little different. We are cage side tonight for a very special Combate Global being seen all over the planet. We are getting ready for a main event that's been talked about for a very long time. Mariel, Celimen, Loba, Acosta, bad blood, knowing there will be a massive audience, perhaps a record-breaking audience, to witness this in the Americas and beyond. We're going three wide in the broadcast booth. Max Bretos, Rodolfo Roman, and yes, the return of the Venezuelan vixen, the champ is here. Juliana Peña joins us. La Jaula side to see this massive event. It's more than just this fight. We have a whole card coming your way. We're in Miami, and we're ready to bring you all the action. Celimen Acosta, Froggy Estrada, Javier Reyes, the number 4 versus the number 1 featherweight in the company. Matthew Colquhoun taking on Ovidio Bojorquez to round out a tremendous evening. We can't wait for this one. Combate will not be the same by the time the smoke clears later this evening. We're going to get it all started. Our preliminary bouts, which never disappoint, will be in the flyweight division. Edwin Sarria taking on Pablo Caballero. Pablo Caballero, El Killer, the Argentine, who has fought some big opponents and put them down. As we always start, let's go to Lupe Contreras.
Jaula, Edwin Sarria.
Edwin Sarria, brown belt in Jiu-Jitsu, making his way to La Jaula. Amateur record was pretty successful then at 7-3. Fights out of Miami with MMA Masters. And representing Nicaragua, he has the Nicaraguan flag draped across his shoulders. Rodolfo is the guy.
I know. Shout out to my Nicaraguans. We've had a couple of Nicaraguans that have competed inside La Jaula. Edwin being one of them, trains at MMA Masters, as you said, Max. And this dude, he's a serious killer inside the Jaula. Great hands, fast speed. Looking forward to an action again here.
His opponent, Pablo Caballero, for the introduction. Let's go back to Lupe.
Su oponente, Pablo Caballero.
Like so many fighters, Juliana, Pablo Caballero got started because he liked to fight. Fought on the streets. His friends said, maybe you should do this for a living. He listened. And now here he is heading towards La Jaula.
Yes, his friends motivated him to compete and start fighting. He has had some bare knuckle fighting experience underneath his belt. Trains at Futures MMA in Cape Coral, Florida. He trains with Vinny Pantaleon, who also competes for Combate, and he looks ready to go. Very serious.
This is the flyweight division that we know is burgeoning, busting at the seams for Combate Global, and both these guys have a long way towards the top 10 and perhaps some big-time fights, but they both feel they're very capable of getting there. As we go to the head-to-head, cara-a-cara, both in their 30s. 2-inch height advantage for the Argentine Caballero, as well as via the reach. Both hitting the weights with the 126-pound limit. We are ready for our first fight of the night. This one could get hairy. Let's get to the action and Lupe Contreras.
Este duelo, 3 vueltas, división peso mosca. This bout, 3 rounds in the flyweight division. Los jueces son, the judges are Richard Green Jr., Ricardo Celis y Theodore Kruger. Presentando a la esquina azul, presenting the blue corner, vestido de blanco, wearing white. Su peso oficial, 126 libras, his official weight, 126 pounds. En su 10º combate, con 5 victorias y 4 derrotas, he enters La Jaula for the 10th time as a pro, with 5 victories against 4 losses. De sangre Nicoya, and fighting out of Miami, Florida, Edwin, the Emperor Sarria. Su oponente en la esquina roja, vestido de celeste, his opponent in the red corner, wearing light blue. Sobre la báscula, marcó un peso oficial de 125 libras y media on the scale. He registered an official 125.5 pounds. Con un récord profesional de 8 victorias y 9 derrotas, he enters La Jaula with a pro record of 8 victories against 9 losses. De Rafaela, Santa Fe, Argentina, El Killer, Pablo Caballero. El referee, Marcos Pérez.
Peleadores.
Marcos Pérez,
Aquí,
the
venga,
third
venga.
inside la
Aquí.
jaula.
Mira, ya saben las reglas. Quiero una pelea limpia, ¿ok? Sigan mis comandos en todo momento. Toquen guantes en sus esquinas. Judge,
Pablo Caballero,
Judge.
Edwin Sarria, ready to
Galito.
get shot out
Galito.
of a cannon
Combate.
to open the evening in a very special Combate Global. We have a full house here. It is Caballero in the blue trunks, and Rodolfo Caballero, we talk about the stacked flyweight division. He's fought two of the best. He beat Michael Reyes in June of last year, fought Ernesto Ibarra, went to a unanimous decision defeat earlier this year in May.
Yeah, he's definitely on that prowl. Great fast hands, and even his previous fight was a very exciting one. As you mentioned, he has that background in bare knuckle fighting, JP, and of course, it's a whole different aspect when it comes to the training, but you got to take into play, JP. That does play a role, especially if you're going up another striker.
Yeah, but I can tell you right away that Caballero has been stalking his prey the entire time. Right when the fight started, he ran right into the center of La Jaula. He stole the center and was just aggressively stalking Sarria the entire time, and now he has his back, and he looks very comfortable here.
That's where you want to be. He catches the head there in Sarria, and he quickly covers up. Did not like that. Another knee to the head.
Sarria was trying to hit that switch, but he covered up instead. He let go of that switch. He needs to break those hands right at the hips, opening up those hands like a can of Coke. He needs to break that grip from Caballero, or else he's in trouble.
He's being dragged in there like the hunter and the prey to the deep end of the pool where Sarria may not be able to get out, Rodolfo.
Stuck in this position for quite some time, pushing up those hips too as well will help out, but he's in a dangerous position here. Pablo has been eating him in like a sweet cake. He needs to break off this position.
This is very telling, Juliana, of Pablo Caballero. 7 wins, 3 by TKO victories, 4 submission. When he wins, they don't go very long.
No, he's got a ton of experience. I see that those hands are about to be broken, but Sarria, he needs to get his hips out. He needs to face his opponent. There it is. Hit that flank on that left side. Now he needs to hit that flank on his right side.
Oh, another big knee. That one.
He's been connecting with those knees, guys.
Sarria curls up. He's in big trouble now.
It's not going his way, and instead of facing through that adversity, it looks like he's willingly ready to shell up and quit.
Now into the guard.
And JP, it's not like if he had that wrist lock, he didn't have a gable grip or nothing. It was pretty easy to break.
Yeah, it was. It was a beautiful double leg takedown by Caballero, right into half guard, using that shoulder pressure on that left side and looking to rein in on that ground and pound. This is nicely done by Pablo Killer Caballero. And Sarria is in trouble. He needs to improve his position, or this is not a spot where he wants to be in. There's your underhook to a single leg. Beautiful job.
Good transition, Sarria.
Nicely done. There's a guillotine there. That's deep. He needs to drop that shoulder pressure on that left side.
Does he have
Get
it in
those
there?
hips up. I think he's okay. Yeah, he's okay. He's out.
Sarria breaks it.
Nicely
he
done
gets
by
it
There's
up.
some
Sarria.
blood there. Yeah, there's some blood guys too. I think that's coming from Sarria.
To the guard, I should say.
Pablo is trapped up against that fence, which makes his mobility a bit more difficult. But going for that head and arm guillotine choke,
That's a much better look at a guillotine.
there's too much space. You see that space? If we can see that hole and if we can stick a slip of paper through there, it's too much space. Nicely
Is
done.
that the test?
That's the
slip of
test.
paper test.
Yes. Nicely done by Sarria. Way to improve your position and back to the feet.
Sarria took a lot, but it's a little worse for wear, but he's back in there. It's a good right hand coming out.
Sarria has a good corner here with Danny Chavez, a Deer Terry who just competed in the Jaula.
That was a nice timed knee from Caballero.
Sarria back, we have seen him in La Jaula. He was in May of 2022. Unanimous decision defeat to Santiago Monreal. This is his second fight with Combate. He started his career 4-1. Looks to get back on the rails. This is a great way to do it, but it won't be easy.
Yeah, Sarria not fighting since June 2019. That's a long time to take off. And, you know, ring rust is one of those things where I think it comes down to the fighter, actually, on if they agree that they have ring rust or not. You know, some people will say it doesn't matter. If you know how to fight, it's like riding a bike, you know. But sometimes not being active can play a part inside that inside the jaula.
One thing about Pablo, guys, is that he tends to pick up the pace very early or later in the fight. We've seen it against Reyes and other competitors inside la jaula. So he might start out quick, take a little pause, and just pick it right back up.
Beautiful job of Caballero to separate and get back into the part where he feels most comfortable, which is that stand-up. He's separated, and back to the center they go.
Didn't look like we'd see a second round the way Caballero started, but we are there. He's not looking as comfortable in the stand-up, missing wildly with those right hands. Oh, there's a short left that caught him on the chin. Final seconds of round one. We will see a round two. Pablo Caballero, and there is Edwin Sarria. Both have had a lot of experience. Really a good matchup. Two guys kind of at very similar spots in their career.
Yeah, it looked like Pablo had the upper hand right at the beginning, but Sarria picked up the pace, JP. And we take a look at the replay right here.
Sarria, I thought he was going to be down and out for the rest of the fight, but he absolutely was able to improve his positions in the middle of round one. We're going into round two. Caballero, the adjustments I feel like he needs to make is not only straighten it out, but not every shot needs to be bad intentions to try to knock him out, which I see that he's trying to do. Every shot with massive power. He's trying to take Edwin out in one shot.
Getting ready for round two. Pablo Caballero, and you get the feeling. We talked about the victory over Michael Reyes, who is our #1 flyweight in Combate Global. You get a win here, all of a sudden, you can ask some questions to that division. Caballero in the blue.
Caballero's an active too. I mean, he's very active. When he's not doing MMA, he's in the bare knuckle ring, testing his hands.
Hey, Juliano, you haven't been here since we have had the scorecards revealed. What are your thoughts on being able to learn about whether you're winning or losing a fight between rounds?
Oh, thank you for reminding me. Are we open scoring tonight?
Open scoring.
Oh, wow. We changed to open scoring. I forgot
you
about
like it?
that. Yeah, you know.
Not so much.
Yeah, I'm not a... You know, I would have to see how it would affect me as a fighter, but man, to be able to like know, you already know that you're down in a fight, so having the scorecards in front of you, it's kind of a mind.
There it is. Caballero gets no. That's the official. Sometimes the fighters are told. Sometimes the corner decides not to. It's a comfort thing certainly, and I would imagine you would say, I don't want to hear it. Maybe sometimes.
No, I don't want to know. I already know.
I already know.
That scuffle there, Sarria was touching his right eye. I don't know, maybe he got poked or something.
Caballero is looking to put one laser right down the clown's mouth and knock Sarria out. He's trying to take him out with one shot. Ooh, beautiful timing by Sarria.
Single leg.
Takes the back from Caballero. And beautiful takedown by Sarria. But Caballero pops right back up. Looks out.
Sarria growing into this fight, no doubt about it.
It's like we're seeing what we saw in the first round, but the opposite now.
Right, he's gonna try to drag him down to his feet. Nicely done by Caballero. Big, huge knee on the separation.
I speak for Rodolfo. Get your thoughts on Julian. It is awesome to be here Jaula side, to see this up close. We've always been close. We've been in the studio alongside, not too far from all that's happening, Rodolfo, but to be here and to feel this on a night like this where they have filled it VIP only entry, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been cage side, Jaula side tons of times, but it just, it almost is like a kid in a candy store out there to be in front of it. Yeah, it's just a whole different feeling. You get the fans, the lights.
Caballero has punches and bunches, tons of combos, and he is, I would say the theme word for him would be volume. He has so much volume. He's putting so much volume out there. Lots of combinations.
Setting up the jab there. And using that left hand a lot, not only just for the jab, but for power punches.
That was a nice stuff on the single leg. Let's see if he can complete that. He gets on 2 feet. Sarria's got that single. He needs to pull that rug right out from underneath him, but...
Yeah, he didn't follow through there, just grabbing onto that. You gotta push forward. And it seems that seems to be the strategy, is trade a little bit and go for the takedown, but Caballero has defended quite well.
Yeah, he absolutely has. He's got great balance. These big, huge overhands that he keeps throwing. He wants to knock him out with that.
Almost exclusively on the feet here in round 2. The left hand continues to be the weapon of choice for Caballero.
Switching as a stance through from Caballero.
There you go, Sarria. Sarria needs to get on his own timing and get off the timing and disrupt the timing of Caballero. Caballero is the dictator. He's the one just controlling when the exchanges are going and when these guys are going to be in range to throw. Sarria needs to say, nah, I'm not with that. I'm going to go when I want to go. I'm going to beat you. I'm going to go first, and I'm going to, you know, get you off of your timing and disrupt that. But he's you can tell on that timing of Caballero.
Sarria's gone through a lot. Looks a little beat up from what happened in the first round, in recovery mode, but he's going to have to fill that tank quickly here or this fight will get away. A minute to go in round 2.
Yeah, every energy level there is down a bit there for Sarria. Needs to pick up the pace. He already got that open score from that first round. He's down.
There's that big right hook from Caballero. Nice straight jab. Misses on that head kick, but like I said, volume. This guy is tons of volume.
Yeah, Caballero just seems that he's just
more
testing
active.
it out. He's more active, but the shots aren't coming out with too much power. It's like he's just picking and choosing, and then depending on the overhand.
Well, he does it well. We saw the score from the first round. If Caballero does enough in round 2, and it would appear he has this fight almost in the bag.
There it is.
There it is. Knock him out.
Now some uppercuts.
Nicely done. That was
18
nice.
seconds.
Ooh, another knee. Wow.
That's what he was setting up for, guys.
Oh, that one was a big one. That one was a big one. That was a big one. That's a big one.
Another big left hand.
Axe kick.
Marcos Lopez thinking about stopping it. Thinking about it.
Oh, no.
We will go to a third round. Sarria survives. Pablo Caballero, fantastic work there. He is a sink or swim fighter. You look at him, he passes the eyeball test. Looks like a guy who should be embedded near the top 10, but sometimes he gets caught. He's made some mistakes in his career, hence he has suffered 7 defeats. He's had as many wins as losses, but when you see him, you're almost surprised with the record. He's been really impressive, Rodolfo.
Oh, look at that overhand right from Caballero. And I got a question. Does Sarria know where he's at? Because right after that bell, I don't know, he was going to loopy there. But just taking it back at that second, look at that beautiful knee right from the clinch. Sarria was trying to get some shots in the body, but just wasn't effective. Just didn't have the power. But hey, he survived to the third round.
Look, if I'm Sarria, here's where you have to pull yourself up from the bootstraps. You just almost went out at the end of that round. You only had, you know, less than a minute with all these people in your face trying to jam water.
Getting back for the third round. Caballero almost finishing the fight. Juliana, Sarria has some questions that need to be answered. He looked like he was out on his feet there. If you're in the corner, what direction do you give them that he can make some sort of triumphant comeback here in round 3?
I can tell you it's not going to be any sort of video game combination or anything like that. The thing that you need to whisper to your fighter needs to be the most primal, instinctual, killer type of advice that you could give someone. It is a fist fight in a steel cage, and if you want it, you got to go get it, and that's the only way that it's going to happen. If not, kiss him goodbye.
Yeah, it's amazing to see him up there. It looked like it was over. We saw Marcos Lopez, the referee, almost put that foot in to stop the fight. Sarria survives. Now, what can he make of it?
Sarria, not offensively at all whatsoever. He gets to use more of those hands. Again, we don't know what shape he is. Oh, there he's picked up the pace in that second round. As you look at the open scoring, already ahead, Caballero.
There's that overhand again that Edwin's been throwing all night. Excuse me, Pablo Caballero's been throwing all night.
The open scoring, by the way, to Juliana's point, Caballero has to know he's winning both these rounds. He was pretty dominant in both of them. Different ways, which has been really impressive, but now he's got to finish the job. Can't make any mistakes here.
Sarria needs to go for the Hail Mary. That's the only one he's going to win this fight. Either submission or TKO or KO.
Sarria blinking a lot. Can't really see out of that left eye.
Yeah, he's been poking that since the end of the first. Touching it.
Switching stances, Caballero. He's fought a really
he just
nice
ran
fight.
into that like a cinder block. More active. Again, more continuous action from Pablo. Sarria now for the ground game, which...
That was nice shot timing. He
Yeah.
just needed to commit to it more.
Side leg.
Didn't follow through.
There's that overhand from Pablo Caballero.
He's banking on that.
Oh, well,
He's
he already
banking
found
on
a home for it in the
Yeah.
second round. He just,
finish it. If he only had that few more seconds, right?
yeah. There it is
There we
again.
go.
Sarria, I don't know where he can dig deep here. He has continued to be on the receiving end. After losing the first 2 rounds, he's losing the third. He needs to find that one moment.
Pablo's just waiting for that highlight reel. He's just picking and choosing, laying him out slowly, and he's going to throw that hand.
Great fight here to open up. Very special Combate Global. Good right hand and over the top by Caballero. It's been like that all night.
If Edwin is going to be waiting on the timing of Pablo Caballero for that, then he, instead of shying away from that right hand, needs to throw his own right hand at the same exact time and go right into that power that Pablo Caballero keeps trying to put him out with.
And you know what I've been seeing, JP, a lot from Sarria? Every time that Pablo throws in that right, he'll almost like kind of dodge it or push it. It doesn't even parry it, but he leaves himself exposed, given the opportunity to get caught.
Right, and that was a beautiful takedown defense, beautiful display of takedown defense from Pablo Caballero. Way to stuff that takedown. Beautiful.
Pablo Caballero, he's been fighting professionally since 2012, a decade of combat. It's been up and down. You never know in MMA. You find that vein of form, and you can take it to great things as blood starts to spill from the forehead of Sarria.
The space is there between. Sarria could go for that takedown. There's enough space between two. Maybe just that gas might not be in the tank for him.
Caballero's now feeling very comfortable. The footwork's there, Juliana. He is put together a real pearl of a fight.
And he's cut open right in the forehead, Sarria.
Ooh, changing levels. Nothing for Sarria, nothing working.
Oh!
Nice teeth kick right up the center for Pablo Caballero. And the blood is starting to pour from Sarria. You know, and this is one of those things, like right now he's in a gut check type of situation. You got to go right now. And it's kind of a mental thing, right? It's like 3 rounds has not gone his way. He's got to find a way to either go get after it.
Yeah, he's been on neutral for the past 5 minutes.
Yeah, incredible respect for Sarria to be standing at this stage of the fight. Looks like he's going to find the duration. He's got to let it go if he wants to win it. He'll get a lot of accolades for lasting the distance.
I almost feel, JP, that Sarria just wants to make it to the end of the fight because he's not doing anything here.
But he had so much success in the beginning of that round 1. He proved that he could take him down and that he had what it takes to, you know, wear him out. But for some reason, it's just he's shut down. He's on the timing of Caballero. He's not able to implement his own game plan.
Hey, he got taken
one
down.
last takedown right at the end of the 3rd round. Pablo
done.
Caballero. Big time return from pillar to post. Takes care of Edwin Sarria. Will have the official decision when we return. We're off and running. We told you it would be a special evening.
My name is Jose Froggy Estrada, and I'm fighting out of Oxnard, California. I got the nickname Froggy back in the 5th grade by my boy Steven Padilla. He actually named me and my brother. He named us both back in the day when we first started playing football. 32 years old now. I love it. I love this sport. I feel like I let out who I am coming down to fights. I represent my family. I represent my Mexican heritage. You know, I like to show everybody what the Frog likes to do. Jose Estrada, who Jose Estrada is. The best advice the coach has given to me is, hey, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to do this sport? Do you want to be an average Joe or do you want to be a world champion? And I said I want to be a world champion one day. My favorite submission off the top of my head right now would probably be a rear naked choke. I like to take somebody's back and, you know, eventually let them give me the way out. We don't train to go right away for submission. We wait for the person to give me the way out. My opponent could expect a war. You know, I came out here to fight. I came out here to bring some damage and, you know, do the damage. So, you know, I'm prepared for war and I'm prepared for a big fight. He's gonna get all of it. He's gonna get all 100% Froggy Estrada come Saturday night. Like I said, I got no bad blood, but if he wants the bad blood, hey, I can make it bloody.
big smile on the face of Pablo Caballero, and more than a smile. Not sure if that was directed to, but they message received. Training out of Futures MMA in Cape Coral. It's feeling good. Let's go
Los
to Lupe
tres
Contreras for
jueces
the official
entregan
decision.
tarjetas idénticas de 30 a 27. All three judges turning identical scores of 30 to 27 a favor del ganador por decisión unánime in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. De Argentina, el killer, Pablo Caballero.
Pablo Caballero, a really marketable guy. You can see he has personality for days, and he is very dangerous. He's got to put it together. He has some great wins. This is one of them. We talked about the Mikey Reyes win. Now if he can build off of this, we'll hear a lot more of him in this year and in 2023. A look at this fight, and Juliana, it was Caballero setting the tone early.
You know, one of the most important things is exchanges and who wins what exchange. And every time I saw these guys getting in exchanges, they were on the timing of Caballero, and Caballero was dictating everything and how the fight was going, the pace, everything. And when it gets to that point, you're too far gone. It's so hard to come back from it when you're that far on the scorecards. And so Edwin did such a great job. He hasn't competed since 2019. And hey, you know, maybe he just needs to be a little bit more active. But it was a great showing by Pablo Caballero. He did some amazing things. He almost had him lights out at the end of round 2 and was able to just completely dictate the pace of this fight from bell to bell, pillar to post. Great job. Amazing fight.
Yeah, JP, and there's no doubt Sarria does have a lot of heart. He withstood all of that flurry of punches in the second round and made it to the third. He just has to brushing up a couple of things there. And kudos to Pablo, who tells me that now he's going to go back and do a little bare knuckle fighting. I guess compete for a title. This guy's all over the place.
That's how you know they're really crazy.
Yeah, he won best fight in 2021 for bare knuckle fighting, so he loves to fight. And we'll see where he can go from this. He's got the love, he's got the technique, he's got a lot going for him. Put it all together, maybe we'll see him in that top 10 where he could build off of that. We're off and running. One fight under the belt. It went the distance. Campbell McLaren was inside the howler. That tells you that he approves, which is great news for the fighter, certainly for the winning fighter. We'll continue all the action here from the howler in Miami. Combate Global. A record-breaking viewership expected on this international calendar date. Next up, we will be in the ladies. It'll be a special 113-pound flyweight. These two will project as atom weights. Giulia Chinello and Jade Jorand. Italy versus France as we continue to grow in Europe. Seeing all the fighters coming from all ports. That includes the Italians and the French as well. Jade Jorand was in Bellator. She's now looking to make her mark in Combate. Let's go to Lupe Contreras.
Entrando a la jaula, Giulia Chinello.
Giulia Chinello, we know they love to fight in Italy. First time I think we've seen the Italian flag here in Combate Global. A kickboxer by trade, started to get into MMA in 2012. Called herself a grappler, but her all-around fight will have to be the case. She gets a great opportunity. Someone who has not really seen her career get going. That can change in an instant if she could get a result against the top prospect, Jade Jorand. We're now ready for the introduction of her opponent. Let's go back up to Lupe.
Su contraria, Jade Jorand.
Jade Jorand, her mom is here to take it all in. An exciting moment for the Jorand family. A world champion in kickboxing. She's done it all in kickback, boxing, and stand-up fighting, but now we got to see if she can get it going in mixed martial arts.
She started off training at the SBG where Conor McGregor trains, and later on went back to France and now training at the Veteran Training Center. As you mentioned, she has that strong kickboxing background, but has evolved to be a complete, well-rounded fighter. She says she wants that rematch against Gloria Bravo, but she has to get through Giulia first to get that rematch potentially.
Giulia.
Giulia.
Yes.
Been to Italy?
Yes, a Luca, Giulia.
Yeah. Some good fighters from Italy. And Chinello with this opportunity. It is a 113-pound catch weight. Both fighters making weight. 1-inch height advantage for Jorand and a 2-inch via the reach. We're ready for our next fight. Let's go upstairs to Lupe Contreras.
Continuamos con mucha más acción. Este duelo, 3 vueltas a un peso pactado a 113 libras. We continue with much more action this bout. At a catch weight of 113 pounds, los jueces son, the judges are Ricardo Celis, Theodore Kruger y Eliseo Rodríguez. Y ahora, damas y caballeros, llegó el momento de un combate global. Presentando la esquina azul, vestida de rojo, presenting the blue corner, wearing red. Sobre la báscula, marcó un peso oficial de 112 libras y un cuarto on the scale. She registered an official 112 and 1/4 pounds. Entra por 10ª vez a la jaula con un récord de 3 victorias y 6 derrotas. She enters la jaula for the 10th time as a pro with a record of 3 victories against 6 losses. Fighting out of Brugine, Padova, Italia, Giulia, the Eagle Chinello. Su oponente en la esquina roja, vestida de blanco. Her opponent in the red corner, wearing white. Su peso oficial, 112 libras. Her official weight, 112 pounds. Entra por 4ª vez a la jaula con una victoria y 2 derrotas. She enters la jaula for the 4th time as a professional with 1 victory against 2 losses. Fighting out of Bordeaux, France, the Princess, Jade Jorand. El referee internacional, Raúl Porrata.
Center, to the center.
Raúl Porrata, el bigote.
Obey my commands and protect
Pride of Coral
yourself at all
Gables High
times. So they can be coordinates y protegen en todos momentos. Toquen guantes, touch gloves, back to your corners.
Cavaliers.
Wow, you did your homework, Rodolfo.
Hey, when I
Actually
was
drove by
around,
my old high school last night.
We were
did.
rivals in my high school against the Cavs.
Where was your high school?
Coral Park.
Coral Park.
Rams.
That was a long drive. Isn't that where
20
Pitbull went
minutes.
to high school too, right?
Yes.
And Jose Canseco.
Yes.
Can I immediately say that Jade Jorand, she just looks comfortable. You know what I mean? She looks so calm. She's got a nice stance. She's got just a presence of calmness to her. Very comfortable where she's at.
The only thing with Jorand, when you look at her, you would never think in a million years that she's a fighter.
No, she's
her
cute as a
nickname is the
button.
Princess. She's cute. She looks like the princess, but as you can see with that exchange, real fast hands. She's a high-end prospect, Juliana.
And let's
She's
just
got to put it together.
Let's just go through the accolades real quick. Kickboxing world champion, European Muay Thai champion, on the Muay Thai national team. She is a K1 kickboxing champion. I mean, over 50 Muay Thai fights. That type of under the lights experience is priceless, and you can see that it's showing and through just in the stance, in the presence of her, and dictating the pace, stealing the center, everything. She's got that cage presence.
He sure does, JP. But let's not sleep on Giulia the Ego. This young lady trains out of the Combat Academy, has had several competition here, and has victories via TKO. In fact, she has, the last fight she had was in June, so she is coming back here, fix up a little bit of the game.
Nicely done. Way to use the hands to set up the takedown in order to get into the clinch here. Nicely done. Perfect timing by Giulia. They're in the clinch. She's got 1 over 1 under. Jade doing the great job of using that underhook. She needs to walk to that underhook side in order to change her position here.
Chinello labeled a very streaky fighter, which can't always be so complimentary. You don't want to be too streaky. You want to be consistent, but she's looking to develop that short notice fight. That's why we're at 112. So this would project to be in the atomweight division. We took a Jade Jorand. She lost to Gloria Bravo, who is the #3 atomweight fighter. That was back of September of last year. She's already said she wants another shot at Bravo. Win here, she might get her wish.
I know what's happening right now. I know now what Giulia's been trying to say. It's slick. She's slipping all over the place. At the jaula mat, it feels wet.
Keep tabs on that. Chinello moving to her left, trying to maintain that position.
By the way, guys, in the main event, just got word here. As I said, Diego Perez, who writes for us, went to the Mariel Celimen camp. Coach said they're warming up as we speak. Mariel says that all that's in my mind right now is that I have to win and shut this girl up. No, this girl's serious
Good.
trash
Bring
talk,
it on.
man.
We want more of that.
There's a mouse swelling up underneath the right eye of Giulia. Jade is still stealing the center, stalking the prey, and she's still got that nice, calm bounce, that cage presence. You can tell that Giulia seems almost hesitant. She's almost like a sitting duck, just standing there. She has to get off on her own strike. She's got to make something happen. She just can't sit on the end and be picked apart by Jade.
Yeah, Giulia needs to step up the pace here, put the pedal to the metal, exchange instead of... And look at the guard too, JP. See how she has her guard up? Kind of, not a basic one. This one, she's just standing there, not typically covering her chin.
No offense right now from Chinello. From Padova.
Oh, she's just taking those shots.
Big right hand lands clean for Jade Jorand. Beautiful job by Jade. And Giulia, sitting duck, she's got to get out of there. Go find a new spot. Go make something happen. When the timing comes, you got to go. You can't just be standing there waiting for her and being on the timing of Jade.
Jade Jorand, a fight at Bellator, and our Campbell McLaren tweeting says, we're happy to have Jade Jorand, Scott Coker, Bellator, your loss. This is about young fighters blossoming into top-tier competitors. That's what Combate Global is all about, getting those young fighters the reps, the opportunities, and Jade Jorand certainly fits the bill as another right hand gets through.
Yeah, beautiful 1-2 from Jade Jorand. Again, right
through the clown mouth,
right down the clown's mouth. Yes, sir.
And there is maybe I'll see with Jade Jorand's mom is there, and we're keeping an eye on her. Very nervous, hands rubbing together. I can only imagine what it must be like.
Giulia just backpedaling, not doing much, just standing there.
I
No
wonder,
offense.
offensively, you know, when you're taking this fight and when you're a girl like Giulia and you are going up against a girl with so much more experience, what is your game plan? And if this is it, then she's doing a great job of doing it. They're finally in the clinch, and she's finally doing something on her own timing. Now she just needs to finish it. Finish the takedown. Lock those hands. Lock your hands and go for it.
You gotta let them hands go. You gotta do something.
No, don't let the hands go. You worked this whole time to get them locked.
We're going to round
In the next
two.
round, let's go.
Okay, so 1 round in the books. There was a couple takedown attempts there, Rodolfo, from Chinello.
I got some comments on her
Who
too.
knows
I'll let
what's
you
going
guys.
in the tunnel of this stadium?
We got some word from her corner. We'll read them a little later. But great offensive work from Jade. The more aggressive of the two. Giulia needs to come back, pick up the pace here in this second round. Be aggressive instead of just sitting back.
We're in the midst of the international fixture date, the final window before everyone gets ready for the World Cup. And it's interesting, we have France versus Italy, 2 countries that have won the World Cup. France is the reigning World Cup champion. Unfortunately for Italy, did not qualify. We'll see how that mirrors our fight here tonight.
Can we talk about body language, body language, body language? When you look at the body language of Jade Jorand, she's so comfortable. When you look at her in the corner, she's ready to go Rocky style. She's just got this, you know, this cage presence about her, and that can be so detrimental in the fight business, because if you're looking across the cage and you see this girl salivating at the mouth, ready to go Rocky coming at you, dude, that messes with your mindset. It's like, I can't get anything off because this person's already such a beast, you know, and that can really affect your mental state going into the next round.
Yeah, it sets the pace, JP. You're absolutely right here. But we're seeing the same thing from Giulia that we saw in that first round. Not much offense, waiting, pacing herself, going backwards, and Jade just very confident throwing in those hands.
Well, and it comes down to experience. Giulia doesn't have quite as much under the lights experience that Jade Jorand has, and you're seeing that.
Jorand using that left hand. It would appear Chinello looking for that takedown. Failed on 2 occasions in the first round. Telegraphed them there. And Jorand was able to snuff them both out.
Now, if I'm Jade Jorand, I got to pick it up. Exactly, because you felt the power. You realize that this girl has nothing for you. Put the pedal to the metal, as you would say, Rodolfo, and get going. Get going. Start going volume.
And you say it all the time, JP, you know, under the lights, this is your opportunity. Show what you got, girl. Let's go.
Easier said than done. And you can see Giulia's corner is demanding her to do something. Take action. Go. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's somebody trying to push you into the fire saying, just step on it. Just step on it. It's okay. You know, and it's hard. It can be hard to step onto that fire.
Started training MMA just 2 years ago. Jade Jorand, after that prolific career in kickboxing, in Muay Thai. That's why she got in the door at Bellator, and that's why she's here at Combate Global. Trained at SBG, the Conor McGregor gym in Dublin, which has been a launching pad for so many fighters, whether they are Irish or not. And certainly in this case with Jorand, left hand gets through.
By the way, guys, got some comment on Lucero's corner. He says, she said she feels incredibly relaxed. I'm just waiting to start my fight. I've been warming up since the morning, just keeping constant movement and listening to my favorite Mexican songs. So she's ready to go.
Do you have the song list, Rodolfo?
I'll work on that for you.
Okay,
nice
thanks.
right hook landed there by Jade Jorand. And Rodolfo, to your comment, that key word relaxed, nice and relaxed. That's a very telling word for me. That means so far so good, all is well. That means she's in a great mental state.
And with all that promotion and all of that stuff that she's been going through, to be relaxed at this stage, JP, you know better than I do.
Yes, listen, there's media obligations, there's training obligations, and the media obligations can sometimes get in the way of the training obligations, and it can be frustrating because you want to hit all of your training obligations, but you do need to promote the fight. So it's a double-edged sword there. It's the hardest part about being a fighter, is making sure that you're, you know, checking all the boxes and it's not just that time.
Moving out of harm's way, but the left hand gets in. There's got to be some sort of game plan here for Giulia Chinello. She's continuing to get hit up with some regularity. Jade Jorand, who comes in as the number 10 atomweight, look to make a big push upwards. Maybe get that rematch with number 3, Gloria Bravo, the woman at the top of the rankings, Ana Palacios, and I would imagine a clear number 1, the way we have seen her fight recently. She has been dominant.
Great
Fast
combination
hands
from Jade. And Giulia just still same person, same fighter that we saw in that first round. Nothing new from her. Not showing any offense here.
Yeah, she's just, you know, sometimes it can be one of those cases like Rose Namajunas, Carla Esparza, where it's like, if you don't go and I don't go, then we're both just not going and we're going to have the most boringest fight on earth. You know, somebody has to commit to make an exchange. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That would never describe a Juliana Pena fight.
Not me, no. I'm willing, I'm going to go try to make an exchange happen one way or the other.
Oh, it's on. It's on.
There you go. There's some power there. There you go. Keep going.
Yeah, and Jade, she could potentially knock this girl out.
Oh,
she just has to push that pace, do it.
Yeah, oh yeah, you can tell she's got the power.
Well, peppering in the hands, it's been all there. It's been volume of punches, quality of punches, not quite where it needs to be as we're reaching the end of round 2. Final 5 seconds. Flurry again by Jorand as Chinello's just standing there, waiting for her moment. Again, much like the first round, Rodolfo, for Jade Jorand, just a heavy stand-up game, leaning into her wheelhouse.
It's like a mirror image of that first round. Just Jade pushing the pace, can combination. Didn't see many kicks from her. But JP, the corner of Giulia just has to tell her. I don't know how many times they probably already screamed and told her, but you gotta go. You gotta throw. You gotta do something.
I'm gonna look at my fighter and say, do you want to fight?
Yeah.
Do you want to be here? Do you really want to be here? Do you really want to do this?
That's the conversation.
Because if I don't see something coming out of this third round, I'm gonna throw the towel.
Round 3. Jade Jorand, foot on the pedal, looking to finish the job. Would feel much satisfied if she can take the Italian Giulia Chinello out.
And I'm sure, JP, Jade's corner said, hey, finish this already. Let's go home.
Oh, yeah. No, Jade's corner, if I'm her, I'm saying, now I want you to flurry this up. Just, obviously you don't respect her power, so go hand. Just keep putting it on her.
Shocked though, she hasn't...
Again.
Any low kicks? She hasn't used any low kicks, though, to set up with the punches. Just purely hands.
Giulia needs to do something.
Yeah, she's just...
She's on Jade's timing. She is too respecting of her power.
Using both hands well.
And if you're going to try to get into the clinch, and you got to make it ugly. Even if it looks ugly in the strikes, do what you got to do to make it happen.
You're going to have to get in there. You might have to get hit her once or twice, but... That guard,
both rounds for Jorand. No surprise there.
That guard, though, just gets me. It's like she puts up her hand. It's almost like they're hitting the mitts.
Oh, yeah, she's holding mitts for her, for sure.
Well, look at Jorand, too. She should go a different... This has got to be frustrating. You got to... If she's not going to give you that, where do you go?
It's just looking like a heavy mitt session workout for Jade Jorand.
Well, that's not good. You don't want a fight described that way.
I know, that's horrible. It pains me to say that. I'm sorry. Please don't get mad at me.
What about a takedown? You got to work on your MMA game.
That's what you're seeing.
Please don't get mad at me.
It's discouraging, but it's the truth.
I know, but it is. You got to go. You got to do something. Even if it looks ugly, figure out your game plan or what that was and go implement it.
And I don't know what she was doing, but you saw she put her guard. She was like shaking. You gotta throw. Gotta do something.
Cruising right along, and she'll just continue to hit the hands. Maybe one slips through.
Now, JP, I've had much success here in the stand-up game. Do I test going to the ground for Jade? Maybe go for a submission?
That was my question, right? Because she did lose to Gloria Bravo in an armbar, no?
Yeah.
And okay, so how long ago was that exactly? And has her ground game been her focus in her fight camps since then to improve so that she doesn't get armbarred by Gloria? Because, you know, 9 times out of 10, Gloria's ground game is so good, she's going to be able to submit you one way or the other.
Well, she says she does want that rematch, so why not test it out, see what she has against Giulia.
Jorand just working on the stand-up. If she wants to make some headway in this business, has to show a more all-around game. This has just been, as you said, a mid-session.
Rodolfo, you're saying you want Jade to show that she has improved her ground game by taking Giulia down and submitting her.
Why not?
Why not?
Let's show
She's going to have to lean
to ask.
She's going to lean into. She's going to have to lean into that at some point.
That's easy. That's cake. She could do it. Absolutely, right? Switch it up.
And shockingly enough, the only two defeats that Jade has, the 2 defeats that she's lost, they've been by submission. But she says, "Hey, I've improved." Well, let's see it. You're already up in the cards. You're up in the fight. Why not throw the gamble in there?
Hey,
roll the dice.
What do you got to
building.
lose?
This is it. I don't think she feels threatened that she's going to lose this fight. I don't think Chinello's going to have anything.
Yeah.
I mean, famous last words, obviously, up her sleeve to win it. But Jorand, if she wants to make headway, as another takedown is snuffed, finally there, she needs to be an all-round fighter.
Great timing by Giulia. She needs better head position. Her head position is completely wrong. See how her head is on the opposite side? Her forehead should be staring at the cheek of Jade Jorand on Jade's left side. There it is. Better.
There we go.
There we go. Nice.
Maybe sneak in a knee or something.
Into the underhooks. Maybe some a sting in the tail, as they like to say here in this final 3rd round from the Italian Chinello, the Eagle.
Yes, less than a minute to go, guys.
Lock your hands, pull her off the fence. You got to make something happen. These guys, especially here, they're not going to let you stall out.
Jade just looked at the clock.
Backing it in. Jade Jorand has this fight. It's not going to be pretty on the way out. Hanging on, but something to take into her next camp. Very happy about the camp she had this time around. Had time to build and come around.
And they get separated back to the center. Jade, 15 seconds less than. She's going to go on a flurry.
Oh, there we go.
That one got through. Something to hang your hat on.
It's like at the end, they picked up the pace.
Nice.
Save the best for last, right?
Well, Jorand says she would like another shot at Gloria Bravo. I'm not sure she will get it, but we'll get a victory here and build off of that. Yeah, I mean, Jade Jorand's going to win this fight, but as we put her under the microscope, Rodolfo,
Show me some more. Show me some. Yeah,
some more.
Show me a little more. I know you have that great background in kickboxing and JP as a fighter. If you've been training on something and you want to test yourself to see how have I improved? How's it work? Let me test it out. This is where I am. This is the stage, right? This is the opportunity to do so.
It would have been a good time to actually try that out. You're right, to show that improvement because of the circumstances. But when you're winning, you're winning. And if you don't have to go use the jiu-jitsu, then, you know, that's probably what she was thinking. I'll use it when I have to, but she wants to stick to her strong suit, stick to what she's good at, and that's the stand-up. She's a K1 world champion. She's a stand-up fighter. So, of course, she doesn't have to use her jiu-jitsu. More power
Stick
to
to your
her.
bread and butter.
Yep.
Getting ready here for the official decision. It will be a victory for Jade Jorand. She will fight tougher opponents, and she's going to have to build on this. Show a little bit more in an all-around capacity, but not to take anything away from
Después
her.
de 3 vueltas,
This
los
is her
jueces
moment. Let's
están
go to Lupe.
totalmente de acuerdo con tarjetas de 30-27. After 3 rounds, the judges are in complete agreement with scores of 30-27. A favor de la vencedora, in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. The Princess, Jade Jorand.
Jade Jorand with her mom in attendance, clapping vociferously, or with some enthusiasm, I should say, to use the right choice of words. She gets the victory. Back-to-back wins here in 2022. She evens up a record of 2-2, and now looks ahead to what is next. Looking clean. Campbell McLaren gives it the stamp of approval. Much more Combate Global. We hit to the main card next. Favorite. This is a setup fight in many ways to see where she could go. Her next fight will be much more challenging, and we want to see better things. So she enjoys this moment, knowing full well a lot of work to be done.
Now she's in the ranks. Does she go up after that performance? That's what we got to find out here.
There's a couple inactive fighters, so we shall see. We shall see. The main card awaits here, and it's all about Mariel Celimen, Lucero La Loba Acosta, a fight we have been talking about for weeks, a fight that is looking to make MMA women's history tonight. Viewership numbers expected to go through the roof. Do not sleep on Jose Froggy Estrada, Javier Reyes. A monumental tilt in the featherweight rankings, and in a special 175-pound feature bout, Matthew Colquhoun will take on Ovidio Bojorquez in Miami. This is what's next. Rodolfo, this, to me, will be the best fight of the night. We'll see if we're correct by the end of it.
I agree, and I think, JP, we've been having a convo about that, but Talk about it soon.
It's Miami, baby. Main card coming your way next. Don't go anywhere.
Me llamo Javier Reyes y soy de Bogotá, Colombia. Para mí representar a Colombia es un orgullo porque somos pocos los que salimos, los que estamos haciendo historia. Mi estilo de pelea actual yo digo que es impredecible. Yo cada pelea intento tener una estrategia diferente, intento irme por un camino diferente y siempre listo para lo que proponga mi oponente. En mi pelea anterior fue contra Luis Siervo, un cubano, realmente un tipo muy duro. Le tenemos respeto a las manos, al piso, pero siento que el trabajo se hizo muy bien. Ganamos por nocaut técnico en el primer round, un gran unpound y pues nada, una pelea bastante explosiva. Bueno, mi oponente es José Froggy Estrada. Él es un peleador bastante conocido ya por lo que sé. El manager que tengo ahorita, él pelearon hace 4 años. Pues fue un poco irrespetuoso en su momento, ¿no? Entonces, pues, con mi equipo queremos ganar esta pelea sí o sí para ajustar cuentas. Lo que me diferencia a mí de Froggy, yo digo que es la versatilidad. Yo estoy preparado para cualquier aspecto y eso es algo que no quiero desaprovechar. Entonces, digo que la diferencia va a ser eso, que lo voy a cansar y va a caer al final. El mensaje para Froggy es que cuídate mucho porque esta pelea vamos a tomar venganza de hace 4 años. Esta pelea es victoria o victoria.
Venezuela's watching, Mexico's watching, the United States, the world is watching inside La Jaula as we will get into the action of the main card. The prelims have come and gone. Lots to talk about there. But now we head towards a massive fight in the featherweight division. There is the main card, and we'll talk a lot about Celimen, Acosta. 2 fighters really hitting into their stride, looking to become big-time contributors and be the face, possibly, of Combate Global. We know the women's fight game is growing, the viewership's through the roof, and they'll be tuning in. Matthew Colquhoun and Ovidio Bojorquez also coming your way. Colquhoun, who's had a remarkable career knocking people out, look to continue that. It all gets started with Jose Froggy Estrada, Señor Combate, taking on Javier Reyes, who has just improved every time we've seen him to the point where he is regarded as the best 145-pounder.
And there's some beef between these two. Well, it's more that Reyes has made a comment that his manager took on Froggy back in 2018, Rudy Morales, and Froggy defeated him. So Reyes says, hey, we're coming back for you, man. We're going to get that win somehow, some way in honor of my manager, Rudy Morales. And Froggy said, hey, there's some respect, but now that you want to make it about blood, bad blood, let's do it.
He said,
let's
it's
go.
going to get bloody.
It's going to get bloody.
Froggy Estrada, who beat Rudy Morales. We're going to find out. We've been waiting for this, a huge opportunity for Froggy against the #1 featherweight. Let's go to Lupe Contreras.
Entrando a la jaula, José Estrada.
Froggy Estrada, he is the Combate OG. When this was just a fledgling company, he was fighting, entertaining fans. And once again, the folks in Oxnard, in Fillmore, in Central South California, I guess you could call it that, all tuning in. His guy, Mikey Reyes, is the #1 flyweight. He wants to be the #1 featherweight. They want to corner the market for the 31-year-old. Let's go back to Lupe Contreras to introduce the #1, el colombiano.
Su oponente, Javier Reyes.
Juliana, we saw Javier Reyes fight and learn a few lessons back in February 2019, got knocked out by Alex Velasco. Since then, 4 straight wins, and it's gotten better in every fight. It's Halloween time, but certainly coming. He is ready to shock the world.
Blair Reyes, as they call him, his fight name Blair, or Jason, the Colombian Jason. literally has taken his licks inside La Jaula, like you said in the beginning when he first started for the promotion. But he has put in his time, he has taken his hits, and he has been, like you said, on a tear since then. He's the #1 in the division, and I know that there's some bad blood, like we mentioned before. Froggy beat Reyes' manager and corner, and so they are, you know, this is a revenge fight, 100% a revenge fight.
I want to get your thoughts on that. There are the particulars, head-to-head, cara. And it is Estrada with a 5-inch height disadvantage. He is a small featherweight, statuesque-wise, and 2-inch via the reach for Reyes. But one thing we've known about Estrada, never underestimate him. He can throw. Let's go to Lupe Contreras. We're ready for this massive fight in the featherweight. The #1 ranked featherweight, the #4 ranked.
Las reglas oficiales de la jaula, 3 vueltas de 5 minutos, 3 jueces utilizando el sistema de 10 puntos. Este duelo, división peso pluma de Spout. In the featherweight division, los jueces son, the judges are Theodore Kruger, Eliseo Rodríguez y Richard Green Jr. Presentando la esquina azul, vestido de blanco, presenting the blue corner, wearing white. Su peso oficial, 146 libras, is official weight, 146 pounds. En 10 combates, mantiene un récord de 7 victorias y 3 derrotas en 10 pro bouts. He maintains a record of 7 victories against 3 losses. Reppin' Oxnard, California, José Froggy Estrada. Su rival en la esquina roja, vestido de amarillo, his opponent in the red corner, wearing yellow. Sobre la báscula, marcó un peso oficial de 145 libras y media en 17 combates a nivel profesional. Mantiene un récord de 14 victorias y 3 derrotas en 17 bouts as a professional. He maintains a record of 14 victories against 3 losses. De Bogotá, Colombia, Javier Reyes. El referee, Marcos Pérez.
Marcos Pérez, the third inside La Jaula.
Aquí, miren, ya saben las reglas, ¿ok? Quiero una pelea limpia. Sigan mi comando en todo momento, choquen guantes y
Tense stare from Froggy.
Saw that? It's a serious stare for Froggy.
Not to be messed with.
He's got a chip on his shoulder.
He says, I am the OG of Combate, my 11th pro fight. Been from day 1 with this company. Froggy Estrada in the whites. Javier Reyes is just on a rocket ship, a trajectory that's taken him to the top. And when you look at the featherweights, Martin Bravo, who beat Froggy Estrada the last time we saw Froggy, is #2. Jair Perez, who lost recently, #3. And it's interesting with Reyes, and he said it, he goes, it's great to be #1, but if you're not the champion, I mean, you're defending something that you really haven't got. So it's a hard job.
But I will tell you something he's defending and he's proud of is doing his entire camp in Colombia. He did that when he took on Luis Gomez last time around, and we saw his involvement taking on a solid wrestler with a great striking base. And he said, listen, by me winning just shows that this camp, an entire MMA camp, can't be done in Colombia. I don't have to come to the States. I don't have to go to another country. I got everything that I need in my home state.
That is incredible perspective. And Reyes gets the back early on of Estrada. Estrada quickly reacts.
Reyes, man, he's just improved.
Reyes is locking it in here.
4-fight win streak. He's on a roll.
Oh, he is stretching out.
He may have it right here, guys.
Estrada fighting it out, trying to get that down.
Froggy has that chin down.
Estrada fights, he's out. True Froggy fashion, although he's got a little mouse and some blood coming right above the left eye. So
Froggy bleeding, and right now he's in a horrible position with this. Hooks in, both hooks in are deep for Reyes. Froggy in the turtle position. This is a tight spot that you do not want to be in for very long.
He's got it locked in there underneath. Early days in this first round. Blair Reyes in his victories, 4 TKOs, 4 submissions.
Reyes is just waiting for Froggy. He's just waiting for Froggy to do a mistake to
he's
sink
out.
it in.
Froggy able to slip
Nicely
away.
done by Froggy to get out of that. He has to donkey kick out so that those grapevine legs can get out of that position so he can improve his position. If he doesn't break those legs, he's never going to shake Reyes off his back. He has to be able to get those grapevine legs out of there, get those hooks out, and that's a difficult position to be in when you're in this turtle position. Way to use the fence. Way to use that fence to help you stand back up and build your base. Nicely done. Shake, shake, shake.
Like
shake,
Taylor Swift.
shake, shake. Donkey kick out. You got to donkey kick out. You got to get those grapevine legs off of you. Get your back to the fence. Get your back to the fence, Froggy.
Froggy Estrada, who beat
Turn
the
into your
manager.
opponent. You have to turn in.
Javier Reyes back in Rudy Morales back in April of 2018, just to show how long he's been with Combate.
He's got to be able to get him off of his back, and the way he does that is by shifting his shoulder blades, his head, everything to get onto the jaula. You have to put your back to the mat, head to the mat, shoulder blades to the mat, but since they're on the feet, it changes now to the jaula. You have to turn into your opponent here. You cannot let them do this. However, he is riding for a long time now, Reyes, and that can burn out the calves, hamstrings, everything of Reyes. If this goes into the second round, that could be an advantage to Froggy.
Froggy has endured a lot here with Reyes on his back, the much longer fighter, much heavier fighter coming in to fight night, and it's etched on the face of Estrada, who's having to deal with him on his back and taking blow after blow.
He's just Reyes just capitalizing on this, waiting for Froggy to have an opening. He still has about a minute and change to go.
Long time.
Froggy has been very patient here, extremely patient. He's not, you know, panicking. He's staying calm. He's still fighting. But Reyes keeps getting deeper and deeper into that rear naked choke, and Froggy is in trouble here. He cannot afford.
What can he do here?
He cannot afford to be broken down in this half Nelson. He's about to get dropped to his knees if he stays in this position.
You're in Froggy's corner, Giuliana. What are you telling him? Is there
I'm not telling him anything. I'm thanking the ref, and I'm saying, thank God, thank my lucky stars. Woohoo! I got a second chance at life, and I'm going to take it.
Now Estrada's looking to get the stand-up game flying.
KO.
You got to throw in those hands.
He's a really fit fighter. Maybe you don't sense that with him, but Estrada's fitness level through the roof.
Fast pace. Oh, he got clocked there.
Oh, good right hand there by Froggy upstairs.
Oh, another one.
Different fight now. 17 seconds to go in round one. Froggy survives, and now we can see if he can get his game plan going in round two. Great start to this featured featherweight bout. Chance here for the corners. Javier Reyes had a game plan. He went for it, went for that rear naked choke. Both fighters, big fans of that finish when they were asked about it. This is where Reyes was able to dig in.
Yeah, he was a fat pace right from the start for Reyes. Great flurry of punches. And then JP, this was pretty much towards the latter part of the round.
You know what I noticed right off the bat is so much aggression from Froggy right off the jump, right when the fight started. Not even being able to dictate, you know, pace or distance or anything. Just boom, bum rush him right away, you know? And so if you're going to do that, then
getting ready for round two, Javier Blair Reyes and Jose Froggy Estrada. For Blair Reyes, the pride of Bogota, Colombia. We talked about that loss to Alex Velasco. Since then, December 2019, rear naked choke victory over John Neal. May 2021, third round TKO victory over John Simon. September 2021, beat Carlos Calvo after a TKO and injury to Calvo, and more recently, May of 2022, first round knockout of Luis El Tigre Gomez.
head up on that double leg. Jose, I've been seeing he's got a nice, nasty left hook that I have been seeing. It landed in the beginning of round one. It's coming, poking its head out in round two. Here's that high crotch single leg for Estrada. He needs to complete this takedown. He absolutely needs to complete this takedown.
And a little bit more patient to open up the second round compared to the first.
Yeah, a little bit. All right, if you're gonna go for an inside single with the head on the outside, you better hit it, and you better make sure you don't get caught on there. The leg is, arm is trapped. Yes, nicely done. Beautiful double leg takedown for Froggy Jose Estrada. He's able to change the tide of the fight here in the second round. He cannot let Reyes control that posture on the back of his neck because he can be set up for arm bars, triangles, all sorts of stuff. See how Reyes is holding on the back of his head? Nicely done by Froggy to break that posture. Nicely done by Froggy. He's going to flatten him out, smash him, and ground him out into mashed potatoes.
Javier Reyes now has Estrada in his guard, right in front of the Estrada corner.
Nicely done by Reyes to get back up to his feet. He used that underhook, he climbed it up, and he got back to his feet, and now Froggy is put on the fence.
Great fight. It's like a catch-as-can, back and forth. Both trying to dictate their style.
Back to the center, Froggy
Flush,
snaps that front head jaw. Ate a knee on the way to the clinch.
Careful, Marcos.
He's trying to go for that ankle pick, but he's not going to find success there.
No. Oh, there, he got it.
Outside single with the head on the outside. That's dangerous, Froggy. There you go. Stay on top now.
Trying to switch it, maybe back to the feet. Reyes said being number one is carrying weight.
Deep, that's deep. Oh, nope.
Now maybe an arm bar attempt. Froggy's underneath. He's got the low ground.
Jack it up. Jack that underhook up.
Maybe a crucifix.
Nicely done by Javier Reyes to settling into that side control position, looking for the mount. Froggy's in trouble here.
He almost had a clear shot at that mount, JP.
Nicely done, nice backpack. Going to sink in those grapevine hooks again, Reyes, like we saw in the first round.
First round, yeah, similar.
Froggy's in trouble here, especially now with that figure four body lock triangle. He's in big trouble. You got to break it where it starts, and that's the hardest part about the figure four. Once they got that figure four locked, it's very difficult to break. Rear naked choke attempt for Javier Reyes. Now he's going to go into the mount. Switches to mount, going.
Great, yeah.
Froggy gives up his back. Still with that body figure four triangle is Reyes looking for the rear naked choke, and that's deep. That's
similar to the first, and he may have it here, guys.
Deep. Oh, he let go.
Still fighting.
Shake him off the top, Froggy.
He is tough to submit, which makes that Martin Bravo loss so
that's nasty.
bizarre.
That's nasty.
And he has that lock.
Put him, turn, Froggy. Put him on the fence. Put his back up on the fence.
There it is.
There it is.
But another squeeze on the rear naked.
No.
He may have something, guys.
Stopped him there, front forward.
Froggy may be in deep trouble.
Nicely done. Froggy is such a warrior, you guys. He got out of that. That's incredible. Shake him right off the top. There you go. Nicely done by Froggy Jose Estrada.
Into the guard.
Nicely done, Froggy. Way to fight through adversity. That's what I'm talking about.
We knew this was going to be a good fight. It has exceeded expectations, and we have a long way to go. A minute plus to go in round two.
What a stud, Javier Reyes, to be able to get that rear naked choke, that much time, have that much riding time. He's done an exceptional job with as tough as we know Froggy is.
Yeah, there's going to be a featherweight title in Combate Global very soon. This could be a title fight. And Javier Reyes, as we touched on, he says, carrying the weight of number one, I'm like the champion, but without a crown. Those behind you are targeting you, and you can include Froggy Estrada on that list.
Way to capitalize on your position. Javier Reyes, what he's got is chain wrestling, chain wrestling, chain wrestling. He's able to go from one position to another, and even though he's in a bad position, he finds a way to come out on top to get back into a superior position, like taking the back again for the third time now of Froggy Estrada. Nicely done by Javier Reyes.
And he wants that rear naked somehow, some way. Great transitioning.
We're going to get to a third round, and we couldn't be happier. Everything to fight for. Froggy Estrada, I mean, he has been thrown through the gauntlet here, and now it would appear he has to dig deep for that victory in the third round. He is more than capable. We've seen Froggy Estrada do some remarkable things.
Let's take a look here at that second chapter of this bout with Froggy Estrada here up at the upper edge in this round compared to the first. The different Froggy compared to that first round. Reyes, though, tried to attempt to get that rear naked choke towards the end. He's been searching and searching, just waiting for Froggy to make a mistake so he can sink it in, but not yet for the Colombian.
Okay, corner down.
Back here for the third round, Javier Reyes. There is no Colombian MMA community. He is building it. He is setting the foundation. We've had breakthrough fighters from other countries, but Colombia, it is undiscovered by and large, and Javier Reyes is changing that by leaps and bounds, and if he gets the win here, that will only increase.
He said there's not a lot of people in Colombia doing big things. He wants to be that person. He wants to be that one to carry the Colombian flag, to say, I'm from Colombia and I'm doing big things. I'm fighting on the big stage. I represent my country, and he does it well. He's got some big, heavy shots there that did land in that opening exchange.
Just to add up on that, he said his entire training camp is done in Colombia and JP. You know, many fighters, they do it in different countries, different places, but he's very confident that he has everything he needs in his country.
Well, because at one point it was there's no ground game for these Latin American countries, but the sport has evolved. This is the fastest growing sport, and in these other countries we're starting to see them evolve and become well-rounded everywhere, and you can see that as a beautiful display with Javier Reyes. In the beginning he took his licks, he was getting beat up on the ground everywhere, but now he can hold his own on the ground and he's comfortable wherever the fight goes. Beautiful stiff straight right there and a right hook to follow it up with Javier Reyes. Nicely done.
And in his interview, Javier said he wanted to test out his striking. He's doing that right now in this third round.
Nice little left hook there, comes in clean for Javier Reyes, and Froggy is just tired.
I mean, he's had Reyes hanging on his back for 2 rounds. Every attempt at a submission, he has gone through the hurricane. Now he's got to dig deep. But again, Froggy Estrada has done it before, and he has delivered the goods. A lot of ground to make up.
He's such a great story, Javier Reyes, though, man. That guy has evolved impressively here.
We haven't even gone into the heavy metal aspects. That's his thing, right?
Oh, man, how can we forget about that?
Sonata
Nice jab by
Arctica,
Froggy.
the #1 band.
It was a nice jab by Froggy and a nice jab returned by Javier Reyes. Ooh, and a big right hook for Javier, but it was partially blocked from Froggy. Nicely done. Good eyes. Nice kick.
You know Juanes was in a heavy metal band? True story.
Did not.
Froggy needs to double those jabs up, not just one, punches and bunches. You gotta mix it up. You gotta throw more than one punch at a time. Nice level change from Froggy. Follow it up with something. He bid on it. If he bites, you gotta follow it up with something, or else they're not gonna respect it the next time.
Froggy still with time. He has 4 TKOs and 2 submission victories in his bag. He is capable. Looking for Reyes to make that mistake as they're standing forehead to forehead in the center of the jaula.
So Froggy likes that exchange.
Nicely done by Javier Reyes, who's pouring it on, a lot more volume. He's got power, too. It's crazy.
Reyes, he's still in diapers in MMA. This is a guy who's keeping getting better and better, and you can see the progression, including arguably his toughest opponent to date. Reyes' corner urging him to move forward.
But what's striking in JP is Froggy's game plan from the beginning to now. He's more patient, more calm, not trying to make any mistakes.
Reyes looking clean.
Yeah, he just looks very confident, having fun in there.
There's a size discrepancy too, if you can tell. Javier, longer, taller, lankier party, and Froggy is more of a, short, compact, bowling ball, powerful type.
Froggy's got those big shoulders, like a football player. You can see it. He played football back in his day, and the body certainly shows it.
Beautiful uppercut by Javier Reyes that got through the guard.
Blood on both cheeks of Froggy now.
Look at Reyes' confidence, though, when he just backs up with his hands down, count him in. I mean, that just shows how much confidence that man has.
Nice teep from Javier Reyes. There you go, Froggy.
Gets inside now for a moment.
And he eats a knee on the way out of that exchange from Javier Reyes. Nicely done.
JP, as a fighter, when you look at your opponent and he has backing out, calling out with the hands down, how does that make you feel when you're in there?
Good right hand by Froggy.
It makes you a bit discouraged, but you can't be discouraged in there by anything that your opponent does. It's you versus you in there, and you absolutely have to focus on your own game plan. Take it from me, I'm getting hit with a kitchen sink, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting hit from all angles, hey, but I'm still fighting, I'm not worried about that.
Cartwheel kick.
Nicely done by Javier Reyes.
Under 40 seconds to go now.
he's going to go for a flying knee. I told you.
The knee by Reyes caught Estrada coming in.
He's waiting for that highlight reel.
Now to quell the Reyes striking, Froggy in and out. Eyes are swelling up.
Won't be surprised if he tries it again, JP.
Yeah, did you see that big, huge overhand from Froggy? He just needs one.
Oh, he's
he just
calling him
needs
in.
one.
Two
Froggy's held
charismatic
firm.
guys in there.
He was lucky to get out of the first round, but Estrada's defense in the submission game was huge.
Ooh, did you see him? He just flipped off.
He just gave a greeting to Reyes' corner, Froggy did.
Nicely done
As
by
it's
both
over.
gentlemen.
Much respect. There was some bad blood. Maybe it was fabricated a bit, but in the end, much respect for two fantastic fighters.
Me llamo José Ovidio Bojorquez y soy de Hermosillo, Sonora.
My name is Matthew Colquhoun. I'm from Kingston, Jamaica. As a kid, I went over to my friend's house, and he was like, "There's something crazy going on TV. There's two guys in a cage fighting." When I saw that, I'm like, man, this is something cool I would like to do. And my bug bit me, and from that bit me, that was history.
Tenía 14 años y decidí un día ir al gimnasio a practicar nomás solamente por el día y me gustó mucho.
To be honest, I don't even remember his name. You know, they just told me an opponent. So I don't know much about him, but I bet he knows a lot about me because I'm coming.
Tengo entendido se llama Matthew y la verdad no sé pero qué se va a desarrollar, pero estoy preparado para cualquier tipo de situación que se me presente ahí ese día. Pues el mensaje para mi oponente es que esté preparado, que no hay miedo de nada y esta noche vamos a saber, ahí se va a ver el resultado.
My message for our opponent is thank you for accepting the fight, you know, and I'm going to bring it. I hope you bring it too, because it's going to be war.
Well, as we get ready for the official decision, some bad blood has brewed up there. We told you about Froggy Estrada beat Rudy Morales back in 2018, the manager for Javier Reyes. They were exchanging words, and got a little hairy. It's cooled down now, but we'll keep an eye on it as we look at these two fighters, and Lupe Contreras about to make that official decision. That was 4 years ago that those two fought, but they remember, and it's been brought into this camp. Right now, Rudy Morales has a real good fighter in Javier Reyes to build on, the #1 featherweight in there. So we are going to the official decision. Lupe Contreras and Javier Reyes going to remain the #1 top dog in Combate Global's featherweight rankings.
Después de 3 vueltas de mucha más acción, el juez Green Jr. anotó 29-28 after 3 rounds of much more action. Judge Green Jr. scores at 29-28. Y los jueces Rodríguez y Kruger entregan tarjetas de 30-27. Judges Rodríguez and Kruger turn in scores of 30-27 in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision a favor del ganador por decisión unánime de Colombia, Javier.
5 straight wins for Javier Blair Reyes. All that remains is when he will be able to fight for a featherweight championship. Has to be soon. An incredible story brewing here at Combate Global. And we're getting closer to our main event. Quite the event overall here in Miami. A very special date.
El Jefe's inside, you know what that means.
How could he not approve of that? That was a fantastic affair.
Just great involvement from Javier on a winning streak. Good stuff.
We continue to look towards the main event. Mariel Celimen versus Lucero Acosta.
I'm hyped for that fight, guys. I'm just counting down the moments to get these two women in there and finally settle it.
The talking is almost over, and this will be the slingshot towards where
All
we
the
go
pressure.
from here.
Now, who do you think, JP, has the most pressure here, Celimen or Loba? That's the Loba right there. You got to go in, JP, thinking she has a lot of pressure on that media. She is, in one way, the face of Combate. How do you set that aside? How do you put those emotions aside, JP?
There's absolutely that pressure of being the face, being the poster child, being the one where you are the draw and everyone is banking on you to win and to continue this, you know, legacy of being the new queen. And so that in itself is tons of pressure, you know, and pressure is a privilege. It is a privilege for both of these women to be headlining this card. It is a privilege for both of them to have this amount of pressure on them. If you don't have this amount of pressure on you, you're not doing something right. So the fact that they do have this amount of pressure tells me that they're absolutely doing something right. And as women, as both mothers, as both main event, you know, you can't really ask for too much more than that. They're definitely doing the most, and I love to see, you know, that women empowerment.
Now, since they have the animosity, do you think they're just gonna go right from the start, bat out of hell, or they're gonna be a little bit more patient here, not let all those emotions get involved?
Well, they're gonna have to, because they have trained together before. They've been training partners, you know, and I felt sad listening to the interviews because one of them said, you know, well, we were just training and we weren't supposed to hit hard, but then she started coming at me like a bat out of hell, and I laughed because women have such a hard time when they first meet each other. You know, there's that posturing, there's that, you know, I'll hit you as hard as you want to be hit type of mentality, but sometimes things get crazy and it literally takes one punch, one shot, one time, and then it's bad blood forever, and the girls just start scrapping like cats.
That what's coming ahead when we return. Colquhoun, Bojorquez. Back here for Combate Global, the main event awaits, but first, two guys that are hoping to make some headway at 170 pounds, late edition fight. So Ovidio Bojorquez and Matthew Colquhoun will fight at 175. We're ready to go. Matthew Colquhoun, Golden Lion. Let's get a closer look at the man from Jamaica.
Me llamo José Ovidio Bojorquez y soy de Hermosillo, Sonora.
My name is Matthew Colquhoun. I'm from Kingston, Jamaica. As a kid, I went over to my friend's house, and he was like, there's something crazy going on TV. There's two guys in a cage fighting. When I saw that, I'm like, man, this is something cool I would like to do. And my bug bit me, and from that bit me, that was history.
Tenía 14 años y decidí un día ir al gimnasio a practicar nomás solamente por el día y me gustó mucho.
To be honest, I don't even remember his name. You know, they just told me an opponent. So I don't know much about him, but I bet he knows a lot about me because I'm coming.
Tengo entendido se llama Matthew y la verdad no sé pero qué se va a desarrollar, pero estoy preparado para cualquier tipo de situación que se me presente ahí ese día en la jaula.
Entrando a la jaula, Matthew Colquhoun.
To the official decisions, let's go to Lupe. Matthew Colquhoun making his way into the jaula. Says he loves the energy of Jamaica. He is a bushman. That's where he finds his peace to get off the beaten path. A guy who has made his way in mixed martial arts, 12 professional bouts under his wings. And he has knockout power. 6 of his 7 victories via KO or TKO with the Jamaican flag over his shoulders. Now for his opponent, let's go back to Lupe Contreras.
Su rival, Ovidio Bojorquez.
Northern Mexico has provided so many great fighters for Combate and mixed martial arts in general. From Hermosillo, Sonora, Jose Ovidio Bojorquez, the latest, back inside the cage for the first time since February of this year. Both these fighters making their Combate debut. He is giving up a lot, Rodolfo, in experience, in credentials, but this is his spot to put his name on the headlines.
This is your opportunity. He carries an amateur record of 8-0, never saw a defeat. Coming off a victory back in February, he knocked out his opponent, and this is his big opportunity to come in. The pressure is on him, but he's going up against a guy that's been there, has a lot of experience. How sweet it would be to get a victory here tonight.
Interesting fight, everything to fight for these two guys. In a fight that wasn't on the card, it's made its way in, and what an opportunity as we go cara a cara between these two fighters. Colquhoun, 5 years the senior, big dude at 6'3", and a 2.5-inch reach advantage. Catch weight of 175 pounds. Both fighters hitting the target. Time to get the officials. Let's go to Lupe Contreras.
Continuamos con mucha más acción. Este duelo, 3 vueltas a un peso pactado a 175 libras. We continue with much more action this bout. 3 rounds at a catch weight of 175 pounds. Los jueces, the judges. Eliseo Rodríguez, Richard Green Jr. y Ricardo Celis. Presentando en la esquina azul, vestido de amarillo, presenting the blue corner, wearing yellow. On the scale, he weighed in at an official 174 1/4 pounds. Sobre la báscula, marcó un peso oficial de 174 libras y un cuarto. A nivel profesional, mantiene un récord de 7 victorias y 5 derrotas. As a professional, he maintains a record of 7 victories against 5 losses. Representing Kingston, Jamaica, Matthew Gold Lion Colquhoun. En la esquina opuesta, vestido de azul in the opposite corner, wearing blue, su peso oficial, 174 libras y media, his official weight, 174 1/2 pounds. Entra por cuarta vez a la jaula a nivel profesional, con 2 victorias y 1 derrota. He enters la jaula for the 4th time as a pro, with 2 victories against 1 lone defeat. Puro Hermosillo, Sonora, México, Ovidio Bojorquez. El referee internacional, Raúl Porrata.
Obey my commands at all
Bigote
times
the
and
third
protect
inside
yourselves at all
la
times.
jaula.
Obedecan mis órdenes y protegen en todos momentos. Touch gloves, toquen guantes, back to your corner.
Enough cannot be stated about this opportunity. Not on the radar. Now they're here on one of the biggest cards in Combate history. Lodged in between essentially a featherweight title bout and perhaps the biggest women's bout in MMA history. And they fly out of the gate. Certainly Bojorquez missed badly. And man, he just looks huge. Colquhoun out there at 6'3".
Colquhoun, and switching his stances too, back and forth from orthodox to southpaw, that can be kind of daunting.
Right from the start, they wanted to make a statement with that opening. But JP, taking a fight on short notice, I mean, so many things come into play. But if this is your shot, you got to take it.
Okay, if you're not ready to fight, yeah, exactly, don't take it. Oh, he says, what's up? He said, Nick Diaz, what's up? Nice outside leg kick from Colquhoun. Oh, nice level change there. He bit on that. Ooh, he looks springy. He looks like he's just about to.
Man named Gold Lion. Also a great jam by the Yeahs. Gold Lion hasn't fought since December 2020, we should say. So it's been a layoff. But when he was fighting, he was very impressive during that spot between 2017 and 2020. Fought Ray Cooper, among many others. Upstairs, Bojorquez.
Oh, Miguel Baez too to that name, so he's had to compete against some notable names.
Shot timing, double leg, head up. He completes it. Back to the feet is Bojorquez. And the Jamaican prodigy, Gold Lion, going for the takedown again. trying to scoop up that single leg, and he drops him to his back.
Some groundwork now. You mentioned that last fight, Max, that he had. It was a defeat for him on his end, but
this is a terrible position for Bojorquez to be in. He's got a big, huge 175-pounder on top of him. A wall just fell on top of him.
Probably a lot heavier than 175 here on fight night.
Absolutely.
Trying to drop those hips in.
Nicely done by Bojorquez to turn in. Use that fence to help you stand up. Get that underhook to a single leg. There you go. Nicely done. And back to the feet. Nicely done by Bojorquez. And Bojorquez, he drew some blood on the gold lion. There's bleeding on the left eyebrow.
And the right side is
big right by Bojorquez.
Giant right.
Oh, he dropped his guard. Switches stances.
Southpaw. Back to orthodox.
Bojorquez has to be happy. He's in a good spot here.
Honestly.
Against the much more ballyhooed opponent.
And it wasn't just then. And it wasn't just then. It's right there. It's even in the beginning exchanges in the beginning of the first round. That was insane. You guys.
We could see it coming. He said he looked comfortable out there. He looked like he belonged. He does.
That's going to be buzzing all over the socials. Woo.
It happened so quickly.
Man.
And Colquhoun is still down.
You know what he said? He said, may the best man win. That's what he said in his interviews. He said, may the best man win. That's amazing.
Gooch.
Incredible. Wow. Incredible.
Sports world
may not have been respected. Bojorquez is now going to take a knee alongside Colquhoun. I mean, he doesn't have that incredible physique. He doesn't have the fighting experience, but he has an absolute fire plug. Still just getting started in this MMA world.
Wow.
Place got completely hushed.
Everybody's stunned in this room. Here's the replay, guys. I gotta see. Here it is. Boom.
What timing.
Yeah.
Golly.
Here it is, another angle.
Right underneath the chin.
What athleticism. Athleticism and timing. Because you know you have to throw the knee where you think their head is going to be, not where their head is.
Oof. Beautifully executed.
Bojorquez, who won.
And you know, I think he tried to do that in the beginning, right from the start.
That's what I'm saying, yes.
And he hit it this time, so the writing was on the wall.
He had already had him hurt in that, like...
Wow. Man, oh man.
That's good to know. He's good. He's good.
Back-to-back wins for Bojorquez. Nobody was talking about him, including yours truly. We thought that he was going to be facing an uphill battle. Well, he has become the first one to knock out an opponent tonight. Colquhoun is up and all right. We'll be back. They brought the stretcher out for Colquhoun, and he got to his feet, and thankfully we don't need it, and he will be center of the jaula waiting for the decision. But for Jose Ovidio Bojorquez, 3 knockout victories. He just had his 3rd. Let's go to Lupe Contreras.
Este combate concluye con un tiempo oficial de 2 minutos 53 segundos del primer episodio. This bout concludes with an official time of 2 minutes 53 seconds of the opening round. Your winner, by way of KO, el vencedor por nocaut. Puro Hermosillo, Sonora, México. Ovidio Bojorquez.
Ovidio Bojorquez, that record tells a lot of stories now. 2 TKOs in the first round. His last fight, a second-round TKO via knees and punches. His whole body's a weapon. Colquhoun has got a big smile on his face. He's feeling okay. We'll be back for the main event. We are back. It's been an incredible evening highlighted by Jose Ovidio Bojorquez's flying knee knockout.
Man, oh man.
Of Matthew Colquhoun. And look at these optics.
Oh,
both in the tunnel together. Mariel Celimen 100% aware of what's happening behind her, I can assure you.
Celimen just focused.
Time for the talking to end. Coming up, Celimen, La Loba.
Mi nombre es Mariel Celimen y vengo de Venezuela. Después que tuve a mi hija quería perder un poco de peso, entonces entré a una clase de Jiu-Jitsu y me encantó. Mi estilo de pelea es libre, me gusta el striking, me gusta el Jiu-Jitsu y me gusta la lucha. A mí me encanta pelear, me encanta la adrenalina que me da y me encanta el mundo de las peleas. En verdad disfruto mucho lo que hago y no me imagino haciendo otra cosa. La presión que siento es porque me encanta ganar y tener mi mano levantada al final de la noche, sea quien sea mi oponente. Puede ser la número 8, la número 7, siempre tengo la misma presión de ganar. Yo pedí pelear a la Loba Acosta porque ella es la número 5 dentro de los rankings y yo soy la número 4 y pensé que era una gran pelea, además que ella tiene la experiencia de 4 peleas dentro de Combate Global. Técnicamente soy diferente a Lucero porque ya sabemos que ella es una boxeadora y yo soy como más luchadora, pero no es que el boxeo de ella sea el mejor tampoco. Sé que ella va a querer como noquearme, pero yo voy con todo, voy para la guerra, esta pelea en la noche, lo voy a dejar todo ahí y voy a hacer lo que haga falta para terminar con mi mano alzada. Sea lo que sea, yo estoy lista. Para mí ganar esta pelea es muy importante porque me pondría un paso más cerca del cinturón, que es mi meta. Lucero, espero estés, como tú dijiste, lista físicamente y mentalmente, porque seguro que yo lo estoy. Nos vemos esta noche.
We are back, and everyone knows this is the place to be. Not just Miami. The summer's behind us. Welcome fall. The weather's nice.
But we don't really have fall.
We don't have. Well, it's not. You can walk outside and not melt like a popsicle in a matter of seconds. So Miami now here in our hidden bunker, where La Jaula waits. The main event everyone's been talking about in the MMA world. Mariel Celimen, Lucero Acosta. Their careers are in diapers, but one of them knows they could be the next big thing, including Celimen.
Mi nombre es Mariel Celimen y vengo de Venezuela. Después que tuve a mi hija quería perder un poco de peso, entonces entré a una clase de Jiu-Jitsu y me encantó. Mi estilo de pelea es libre, me gusta el striking, me gusta el Jiu-Jitsu y me gusta la lucha. A mí me encanta pelear, me encanta la adrenalina que me da y me encanta el mundo de las peleas. En verdad disfruto mucho lo que hago y no me imagino haciendo otra cosa. La presión que siento es porque me encanta ganar y tener mi mano levantada al final de la noche, sea quien sea mi oponente. Puede ser la número 8, la número 7, siempre tengo la misma presión de ganar. Yo pedí pelear a la Loba Acosta porque ella es la número 5 dentro de los rankings y yo soy la número 4 y pensé que era una gran pelea, además que ella tiene la experiencia de 4 peleas dentro de Combate Global. Técnicamente soy diferente a Lucero porque ya sabemos que ella es una boxeadora y yo soy como más luchadora, pero no es que el boxeo de ella sea el mejor tampoco. Sé que ella va a querer como noquearme, pero yo voy con todo, voy para la guerra, esta pelea en la noche, lo voy a dejar todo ahí y voy a hacer lo que haga falta para terminar con mi mano alzada. Sea lo que sea, yo estoy lista.
Mariel Celimen has done her part of the amateur ranks, 4-1. Originally from Maracaibo, Venezuela, spent time in Garden City, New York, and the Longo Weidman MMA. One sparring session at Goat Shed Academy in April with Lucero Acosta set this in motion. Some bad blood was created, and it's led to this. And Mariel Celimen, maybe a little advanced, probably a little advanced in her MMA career, gets this opportunity, main event, eyeballs all over the planet, tuned in on her.
And you're walking out with a former champ, Juliana Peña. I mean, you can't get any better than that. This is your opportunity, girl, to show what you got, represent your country inside La Jaula. Also that great camp, the Goat Shed Academy. And look at the slow pace as she walks. She's taking it all in. She can't let out.
Take every second.
She can't take those emotions, the aggression. You gotta still have that strategy. You gotta stick to it.
And now she awaits for her opponent. We get a closer look to Lucera Acosta, the pride of Tijuana, the one they called La Loba.
Me gusta romper el estereotipo de que, mujer bonita no sabe hacer nada. Es una meta lo que tengo. Yo sé hasta dónde quiero llegar, o sea, quiero ser campeona, pero también quiero mandar mensajes a las personas que sufrieron violencia doméstica o bullying para que tomen el camino de poderse defender. Para mí representar a México aquí en Combate Global es un orgullo, la verdad, y gracias por darme la oportunidad de, por así, de poder pelear aquí en esta organización. No creo que vaya a ganar la pelea, vengo a ganar la pelea. No me perjudica nada lo que diga la gente o lo que diga Mariel, porque pues ya miré lo que dice, que porque ser cara bonita yo no puedo ser grande, pero ella por ser una persona egoísta tampoco va a llegar a la grandeza. Ella no sabe lo que yo pasé para estar aquí. No juzgue a una persona antes de conocerla y que si no tiene nada bueno que decir, que se quede callada.
Lucero Acosta making her 5th fight here in her MMA career, all of them under the Combate Global banner. Gabriel Soto, a telenovela actor who was supposed to be on this card. They were looking for a fight. That's been pushed down the road. Maybe we'll see him soon enough. Part of the entourage for La Loba.
He's been training for 15 years boxing. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
But we'll see him here shortly. He said he wants that fight. But this is it. This is the moment for La Loba. Hey, she threw out the first pitch at the Marlins game. She's had all that exposure in the media. All that now is set aside. JP, your mind is focused now on this fight. It's time to go. All the attention is on you. Stick to your strategy. Don't let the emotions come in.
No, absolutely not. You got to be laser focused in there. You have to be a confident killer, calculated, cold-blooded. If you have a heart, it's black. If you have a heart, it got ran over a million times. You have no heart. You're going in there for blood. You're going in there to kill. You're going in there to literally take this person out. And you can't have any remorse for it when you do, because guess what? They're not going to feel bad when they come and clobber you. They're trying to eat you. It's a killer-be-killed world inside La Jaula. And we're going to see which one of these girls is the true queen, which one is the true killer, which one is the true real deal Holyfield.
Reina o nada, queen or nothing is how this main event has been described. And how about Rodolfo getting the Miami Marlins into the show for a 3rd time tonight? It's hard work. Someone's got to do it. Lucero Acosta, we know about, millions of social media followers.
Look how she's waiting for La Loba. Just patiently with her hands in her waist, just like, whatever, man.
Like you can take those followers and stick them.
Well, and the other thing that I noticed yesterday is Loba was making Celimen wait all day long. She literally had her waiting. She's just literally keeping her waiting for like 10 minutes, you know?
She might be in her head, guys.
We're ready to go, and people will find out what all the hype is about. Mexico, Venezuela, Celimen, Acosta. A record-setting evening, perhaps. We'll find out when the smoke clears as we go head-to-head. Both still early days in their MMA career, all even on the height. Acosta with a 3-inch height advantage. We're in the flyweight division. Beside the main event, this is a great opportunity to move up that pecking order, both ranked in the top 10. A winner here takes a huge jump. You can bet your bottom dollar. It's all set. Enough of our yapping. Let's get it off to Lupe Contreras.
Este es el evento estelar de esta noche. 3 vueltas, división peso mosca. This is the main event of the evening. 3 rounds. In the flyweight division, los jueces son, the judges are Richard Green Jr., Eliseo Rodríguez y Theodore Kruger. Y ahora, damas y caballeros, llegó el momento de un Combate Global. Presentando la esquina azul, vestida de amarillo, presenting the blue corner, wearing yellow. Marcó un peso oficial de 125 libras y media. She registered an official weight of 125½ pounds. Entra por cuarta ocasión a la jaula, con 2 victorias y 1 derrota. She enters la jaula for the 4th time as a professional, with 2 victories against 1 lone defeat. De Maracaibo, Venezuela, Mariel, la araña Celimen. Su contraria en la esquina roja, vestida de azul, her opponent in the red corner, wearing blue. Su peso oficial, 124 libras. Her official weight, 124 pounds. Esta noche, regresa a la jaula en su 5º combate profesional, con 2 victorias y 2 derrotas. Tonight, she makes her return into la jaula for the 4th time as a pro, with 2 victories and 2 losses. Fighting straight out of TJ, Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico, La Loba, Lucero Acosta. El referee, Marcos Pérez.
Marcos Perez, the third inside the jaula. La Loba, the she-wolf, as it's translated. I talked to Lupe Contreras earlier. I said, you're not the most ballyhooed Lupe inside the jaula tonight. He says, I'm okay with it. And we are ready for the main event. Juliana, you were there with Maria Celimen. What did you read of her? What did she say anything?
No, she didn't.
Locked in.
Focused.
Celimen in the Venezuelan yellow, center of the jaula.
Nice little Mexican uppercut there from Acosta, Loba.
Look, right from the start, guys.
Beautiful frame.
Yep.
Gorgeous frame. She says, you're not taking me down. Shuck it.
Underhooks there for Acosta, in and out. And we heard from Celimen that she knew she's going to do some of the stand-up, but anything to set up a submission attempt. Ground game is where she is the reina.
Look for the charismatic one calling out Celimen. Let's trade, let's go.
Heavy hands. Acosta says she's really worked on her all-round game.
Oh. JP, I mean, Celimen right from the start.
Do you know what that? Do you know what that means right here? That means. That's what she's saying. She's howling.
Got a good foundation set, feet firmly on the ground for Acosta. Has made some mistakes in her MMA career, and that led to defeat to Chantel Coates, a split decision that she thought she won. That was back in August of 2021. Has had a year off where she's really been able to build through training to get to become a much more complete fighter.
She said she had that ankle injury. She's a lot better now. And when you look at Celimen, Max and JT, you gotta remember this lady would have been undefeated in her pro career if it wasn't for that headbutt incident that she had.
Yep. So deceptive records for sure when you talk about these two. It was a DQ headbutt to Jasmine Navarrete. That was back in September of last year for Celimen.
Nice, beautiful Muay Thai stance there for La Loba. Ooh, and a big, huge right hand. Misses, but you can tell there's a ton of power on it. Celimen, good eyes.
Those right hands, if they connect, Celimen could be in some hot water. Nothing's gone through yet. Big knee, close quarters.
Celimen needs to use her hands to set up her shot timing.
Ooh.
She's got to set it up.
Celimen now peppering away.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful takedown defense by La Loba.
La Loba's boxing, you can tell it's improved a lot. She's coming in with those punches very tight.
She's good with the kicks too, and she's good with the elbows too. She's absolutely shown that she has rounded out her game overall.
Great start to this fight. Both looking to pick their spots. No quarter given, none taken. Leg sweep attempt there from Acosta.
Acosta, La Loba, her leg kicks are strong. Nicely done. Nice left hook sneaks in there by Celimen.
You can see they know what's at stake.
This time, though, all those nerves
You
are
can
gone.
see the
That's
boxing prowess, Rodolfo,
Yeah,
in
you see
Acosta.
it.
Those
Yeah.
are sharp strikes. Those are arms and fists that have been built to throw.
And that right hand was solid from La Loba. Solid.
Crisp.
We were curious. I was very curious, Julian, to see how this fight would start, to see the perspective, to see how locked in. They have both proven that they have taken this very, very seriously.
Well, Acosta too, she's got a confidence about her that is saying anything that you come my way is going to be denied, and you can feel that confidence starting to air out as the fight and the round continues. She's growing more and more confident as the round's coming to a close with 90 seconds left, and that's definitely going to play into her favor as we go into the second round, because when you have that confidence and that you can't touch me, and she hasn't been able to touch her, that's a recipe for success for your La Loba.
Yeah, Celimen said that Loba has good boxing and good kicks, and surely we're seeing it today, but great takedown. And anytime the Celimen comes in for a takedown, she defends it quite well.
Beautiful takedown defense so far by La Loba that we've seen, but that was a perfect shot timing by Celimen. Perfect shot timing by Celimen.
Under a minute to go in this opening round. Two fighters born and raised in Combate.
She got her down.
Gorgeous.
And a chance to maybe grab this round late for Celimen.
She got to lock her hands. She has to lock her hands. There she is. Now she's got to pull her off of the fence. Nicely done by Celimen. She's got to pull her off of the fence.
Trying to grab those wrists, Acosta, to make sure she doesn't go down in a very tightly contested round. A takedown here switches it into Celimen's perspective, perhaps.
Loba holding onto the cage there. She gets warned by the referee. Nice, beautiful head position. You have to take her down. You got to pull her off of the fence, Celimen. You have to pull her off of the fence.
Got 18 seconds to do so.
There it is. There's another outside trip takedown.
We're going to get to a second round. Intention shown in those first 5 minutes. Some eye contact on the way out. Some blood also on the right brow of Acosta.
To collect that first round action, just connecting from the start. Great boxing from La Loba. Celimen got caught there, but she timed it perfectly. Go for a takedown, but Loba's takedown defense has been on point today. Lots of charisma in this bout. Calling out Celimen to, hey, let's go dance. Let's go in the center of La Jaula. Let's throw down.
Both corners probably have to be pretty happy about how their fighter's gone, but a lot to digest.
They're very smart. They're both playing a smart fight.
Yep. Second round is here, and we await with bated breath to see how the judges scored that opening round. We knew it was close. Max Pretos, Rodolfo Roman, and the triumphant return of the Venezuelan vixen, Juliana Peña, to the broadcast position.
What I sense, JP, here, they started off slow, and it's like they're building up the momentum.
I like how you whispered there.
Little by little.
I really got
well,
that.
You got to build up the hype, the suspense, man. It's a big fight.
Speaking of suspense, let's figure out what adjustments these ladies are going to make cutting into that round two. That was a beautiful combination by La Loba.
Acosta approaching
in her right hand.
Starting the second round much the way she started the first.
Crisp. Her punches are sharp. Nice, that Mexican uppercut coming right out the middle guard. La Celimen. Beautiful job by La Loba. Nice striking.
Celimen takes center of the jaula again.
Little left hook sneaks in there by Celimen.
Been impressed with the takedown defense from Acosta, something that she needed to work on. It would appear in these 13 months since she last fought. She's worked on it. Here's a chance to prove it. And she snuffed it. No, she had down backside and into the guard.
Nicely done. Beautiful shot timing by Celimen. She continued to run through the wall. She continued running her feet. She continued to cut the corner in order to complete that takedown, and she did it. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. But right now she needs to be careful getting her hands back, not putting them in the T-zone. Don't get armbarred. Don't get triangled. Don't allow her to control your posture by holding onto these arms. And that's all Acosta is going to do right now, because she knows that she's in a disadvantage by being on the fence, or on the back, or on the, excuse me. She knows that she's at a disadvantage by being on the floor. And that is not right by what the ref just did.
You should not have stood him up?
No effing way.
I thought it was early too, JP.
I can't believe it. I'm so angry. Do you know how hard she's been trying to get to take to get that position? Yeah. This guy just wants to be important.
And they were working.
I can't believe it. It
Juliana's
angers me. It angers me.
And this bit plate, look, Acosta wants a stand-up fight. She gets her wish here.
Of course, of course. And she knows the only way to do that is just hold on for dear life and wait for the referees to stand her back up. She got what she wanted, so that was nice for her. And I'm happy for her, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that if my style is to take you down, I finally take you down, and the second that I get taken down, you stand me back up, I'm coming for you after the fight. That's all I'm saying.
Missing sweep. The volume of strikes from Acosta has slowed down here in round 2.
And I think this is similar to what Celimen did in the previous fight against Tyler, where Tyler was winning the fight, but she just broke her down little by little until she was able to get that submission in the 3rd round.
Oh, big knee, Celimen upstairs.
Yeah.
About 200 people inside the studio here. There would be more if you could, but this is a select crowd allowed to see this massive event. You get to see it at home.
La Loba, she's got such great striking. She's nice and composed in her striking. Right before that segment, Max, she threw a beautiful jab that landed clean.
Celimen with the striking.
Nicely done, Celimen.
La Loba's face is pretty telling. There's a few scratches and cuts.
She's going back to that calf kick. She did about 2, 3, 4 times in that 1st round.
Acosta, who debuted with Combate 2019, 4 fights between then and August of 2021, going back and forth, wins and losses. Celimen, her debut, May of 2021. She has had 3 fights within 11 months under the Combate banner.
Now notice the change in dynamics where Acosta was throwing a lot more, and now we see that the volume is slowing down a little bit because she knows that Celimen is timing that and trying to get the takedown. So she's not throwing quite as much as she was before.
Not only that, JP, but similar. She's very redundant with her same stuff over and over. Maybe experiment a little bit, work the body more.
That was a slip by Acosta, was not created by Celimen.
They see the 1-2 and then the calf kick. That's what I've been seeing repetitively from La Loba.
And it's been working. She's got nice heavy calf kicks. She's doing great with those calf kicks. Nice right hook lands by Celimen. And another straight right lands perfectly for Celimen. That was beautiful.
Acosta could see those coming, can't do much about it. The scales are being tilted towards the Venezuelan.
Nicely done by Celimen.
Celimen's like a shark.
Oh, good left hand by Acosta. Overhand right.
She's smelling the blood, guys.
Stand up favors Acosta, but Celimen showing her wherewithal. We are heading to the final seconds of round 2.
Nice shot timing, stuffed by La Loba, but she didn't really commit on that one, Celimen.
It's more like a feint.
We could have an all-level fight heading to the 3rd round. What else could you ask? Two very tightly contested rounds. Tough on the judges. Big moment there where it was on the ground and Sanchez picking them up.
See, La Loba a little tired here coming off in the stool, but let's take a look at that 2nd round. Celimen and JP, this had you very upset when she took her down, finally brought her down, but the referee stood them up. The work was there.
Absolutely.
And it favored Acosta. The fight went back to feet.
Yep. And there was a little trip there, but that's because the jaula's wet.
Okay, corners out. Corners out.
We are back, and we were touching on the slip from Acosta. There was an issue earlier in the fight card.
Beautiful jab by La Loba. It opens up that exchange into the 3rd and final.
Gotta get it going. Stay on the feet.
Again with that jab. She's got a great jab. Nice shot timing by Mariel.
Acosta drops the hips.
And she's almost got it. Lock those hands.
I tell you,
she's almost got it.
It is night and day, the takedown defense from Acosta. Much, much better since the last time we saw her.
She's going to pull her off the fence now.
Celimen has strong wrestling.
Locked.
Acosta training in San Diego. Says physically and mentally set, recovering from that fractured ankle from her fight in December.
Kimura.
Look at the scorecard, all even.
La Loba's got a Kimura locked on there. Oh, nicely done. And back to the center they go. That was a nice attempt by Mariel.
This is it. It comes down to the third round. Whoever wins this round wins the fight.
Nice jab by La Loba.
Couldn't write a better story than this,
But that is where the open scoring pays off.
Right.
We waited for it. Big main event. Now we know. You have the information. It's all down here. The question is, which of these fighters, or do both of these fighters have that information as well? Nothing in there behind Celimen's takedown. Came in way too high. And now it swings back in the favor of Acosta. Celimen, who's fighting out of the Goat Shed Academy here in Miami.
You can't write a better story, guys. 1-1, even.
Both, when in doubt, jab out. Both girls jabbing at the same time.
We were asking about the similarities, single moms, fighting hard, and Mariel Celimen was asked, because I don't think we have the similarities. Very different. You can see the differences here in the styles.
Loba's offense have come down a lot.
Nice jab again by La Loba. La Loba's jab is great.
Yep.
Nice shot time for Celimen, but she gets stuffed. And La Loba says, I got nothing for me.
Yeah, she's upset because she keeps shooting in, but Celimen, she has a game plan.
Better execute it now. You're down to under 3 minutes to go in the fight.
Nicely done by La Loba with those jabs. Her striking is really the story here.
Yep.
In this bout. Nice leg kick by La Loba.
Massive matchup in the flyweight division in the women's rankings, where we've talked to the powers that be at Combate. Almost 60% of the viewership for Combate is women. What an incredible change, when you would have never thought that just a few years ago. Now you have the participation and the viewership.
Nice combination there with the right hook landing for La Loba, but Celimen answers back and again with the jab with La Loba.
That's been the story, JP. That
left
jab.
hand.
It has. You got to use your hands to set up your takedowns. If it looks ugly, it looks ugly, but you got to get those hands locked.
Celimen, the number 4 ranked flyweight. Number 5 ranked flyweight is Acosta. The number 1 is Maritza Sanchez. Melissa Maya, number 2. I'm sure they're tuning in. See if they can get next. Acosta with a big right hand. And she's been inspired by it. She's coming in on the front foot.
Loba's going in.
Here we go.
La Loba smells blood in the water.
90 seconds to go.
No, nice jab. She's got such a great
Celimen
jab.
backing up.
I don't know, but I think she chugged an energy drink or a cafecito because she just picked up this pace all of a
The
sudden.
eye is swelling shut. The left eye of Celimen is swelling shut. Nice timing, finally.
Nothing in the takedown.
Almost.
Celimen looks tired.
If Celimen gets that takedown, though, that could be it.
La Loba. We're going to have a timeout here. Something. She looks strong. Celimen holding onto the cage. Not looking.
They're checking the swelling underneath the left eye of Celimen. They're checking to make sure that her eye is okay enough for her to
It
continue.
happened fast.
Oh, it's the eye, guys. Yeah.
Oh boy.
The left eye.
And that's what's affected her. She's worth, but she.
What? They're gonna keep going with the.
Okay.
Celimen guillotine attempt here.
Celimen going for a single leg with the head on the outside. That's dangerous because she could get caught in a guillotine, but she's going for it, and she's actually syncing up the other leg too. She's going for broke here, and I like
Acosta
it.
not going anywhere. She is keeping her feet.
Single leg with the head on the outside. She could get guillotined here. She needs to be careful because La Loba's locking her hands.
Celimen stuck. 30 seconds to go. Lucero Acosta said she's been working.
Lucero Acosta's gonna choke her in a guillotine, you
Yeah,
guys.
Celimen running out. The air not getting.
She's gonna choke her in this guillotine. You guys, she's gonna choke her.
Oh, Acosta!
No, but that takedown could be it. If she can get it.
The she-wolf sound has been yelled throughout La Jaula.
It's a head and arm guillotine. I couldn't see from the angle. Never mind, she's good.
She said she was working on her craft. She was working on her game. The proof is in the pudding. Lucero Acosta, the best we've ever seen her.
The improvement is there, guys.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I guess they will have a cup of coffee after.
Incredible. We can hear it. It's always lip service. Go, I've been working on this. You go, okay, let's see it. She did. Wouldn't get taken down, dictated the fight, got better as the fight wore on. The main event we've all been waiting for leaves us with a lot to talk about. And it would appear Lucero Acosta will be victorious. Nothing guaranteed. And we'll return to get the official decision. Remember, it was all square after 2 rounds on the official scorecards. Let's see if she did enough. Official decision, and Lupe Contreras is next.
Buena patada de giro, buen derribo por parte de Caroline.
Roberto Romero Hernández.
Cambiando de guardia constantemente por todos los codos bonitos. No los ha afectado también de David Martínez.
No, Javier, vas a estar el 26 de septiembre en una exhibición.
Golpea el cuerpo. Una vez más, el gancho se acabó, se acabó.
Se acabó la batalla.
We are back, awaiting the official decision. There is a lot of anticipation in the room. Mariel Celimen, a pretty nasty injury to her left eye. It was all level after 2 rounds, but who won the 3rd? Let's find out. Lupe Contreras.
Después de 3 vueltas, los jueces están de acuerdo con tarjetas de 29 a 28 after 3 rounds. The judges are in agreement with identical scores of 29 to 28. All in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision, a favor de la vencedora por decisión unánime. La Loba, Lucero Acosta.
And the howl to the moon. Victorious, her 3rd professional victory, and now arguably the #1 box office attraction here in Combate Global. We'll hear it from the interview, and I want to get Juliana's thoughts again about that moment in the 2nd round where they picked them up from the ground, which really changed the trajectory of this fight. Let's go, Lindsay Casanelli inside of the jaula, who is with our Spanish broadcast.
All right, here's the fight. The main event fight.
La que nos diste, Lucero.
She's hot.
Sí, muchas gracias.
Thank you.
La verdad me siento muy feliz,
I feel
muy
great.
contenta de poder levantar la bandera en nuestro
I was able to raise the Mexican flag.
A todos los fans, a todos los,
All my fans,
mi familia,
family,
a mi entrenador Néstor, gracias por todo el
trainers,
apoyo y
thanks
por
for the
todo
support.
el trabajo duro que hicimos en este campamento.
Loba, en el segundo round te viste en problemas, te
second
viste
round, you had
quizás
some problems.
superada, lo vieron así los jueces.
The judges saw
Tenías
it that
que ganar
way.
el tercero
You
y
had to
sales
win the
con
3rd
todo.
round.
Vamos a repasar exactamente cómo fue este combate que estábamos todos
How
esperando. Ahí vemos las
how was
imágenes.
this fight
Venía
that
Mariel Celimen, una
that
mujer
we
que
were all
venía de una
anticipating for?
victoria. Y tú que venías del lado contrario, que tenías que reponerte de una derrota en tu
You
última
had
presentación.
to come up after a defeat.
¿Cuál fue la pregunta?
Pues la pregunta es, ¿cómo
The
entraste
question
con los
is,
nervios al principio?
you entered with lots of nerves.
Tú lo dominaste.
And you dominated. No, I didn't have any nerves. I was ready.
Yo sabía que le gusta dar mucho amor, le gusta abrazar.
I know that she likes to clinch, hug. I said it a lot in the interviews.
Estuve entrenando mucho, ahora sí que
You
la
see it
defensa.
right there. I worked a lot on my
Una y
defense.
otra vez. Yo dije, vengo
Many
a pelear
times I
como
said it.
mexicana,
I come in and fight like a
yo también te quería
Mexican.
abrazar, así que
So
pues, tuve que hacer las defensas
I had to do the
y apretar
defense
los puños para que no pudiera entrar tan rápido.
and throwing the punches. She won't be able to come in.
Estabas tirando una patada que era muy efectiva, pero también
I noticed you were
vamos
using
a
the
tener
kick.
que decir que Mariel en el segundo asalto
Mariel in the
tiró
second
algunos
round,
golpes que te hicieron daño. ¿Qué
She,
pensaste en
she
ese
did do
momento?
some damage to you, but
En el gimnasio me hicieron mal daño, así que me acordé de mis,
No, I
de
remembered
mis, de mis compañeros que
to my-
me pegaban con malicia,
my
entonces
friends
me
that-
acordé de
that-
ellos y me vine a desquitar con Mariel.
that I competed.
Ya en
I
el tercero,
I brought it to Mariel.
sonado la campana y tú te sentías ganadora, sentías
When
que
you
la
heard that
tenías
bell, did you
dominada
feel like a winner?
Realmente no me hizo mucho daño.
No,
nomás
she
me
she
estuvo
she didn't
tirando.
hurt me
Fueron
much.
los tres, pero
But
el que no arriesga no gana.
but hey, if you don't feel anything, you don't win.
En el tercer round dije,
In the
corazón,
3rd
corazón
round, I said,
mexicano, y lo
I have the heart of a Mexican,
Loba,
and I gave it
aquí
all.
está la huella de la batalla,
Loba,
las manos. Vamos a hacerle
that's the hands,
un
hands of battle.
close-up a la mano de la Loba, de la mujer que hoy sale
This is a woman who comes in
victoriosa.
victorious
Sí, señor
tonight.
director, por favor, la sangre del sacrificio y la
This is the
disciplina
blood, the sacrifice, the
está en la mano
discipline,
de la ganadora. Es la
the
mano
hands
que
of the winner.
sale arriba de la jaula de combate
On-
global.
inside
Muchas
the
gracias, muchas gracias
jaula.
a todos, muchas gracias a la compañía por
Thank you for the company.
otra vez gracias a mi entrenador, que
To my
gracias
coach.
a todo el equipo
Thank
que
you,
me
all
siguió
my
apoyándome,
team.
quiero darle las gracias.
Thank you much.
Cuando el jefe está aquí, quiere decir que fue un gran combate, Campbell McLaren.
Well, Lindsay, this is a great combat, I must say. Here is the queen of tonight.
To the stats, as we look at that, the stats certainly support Acosta's victory. Juliana, how much of an effect did the officiating decision to pick them up in the second round have on this fight?
Well, you know, that's why Combate is Combate. That's why it's the hottest promotion in MMA. They have a style here, and that's, we want to put you in the center of the jaula. We're going to go toe-to-toe, mano-a-mano, and we're going to see which one backs up first. They don't like the wrestling. They don't like the stalling. They don't like the, you know, the try to ground you out into mashed potatoes if it takes too long, because they're going to stop that. They want to see action. MMA in Combate stands for mucho más acción, and if they're not seeing that action, they're going to stop the fight. So it's typical. I just haven't been back here for a minute or two.
It says a lot about the way Combate does its business. It's not always an exact science, but they got up, and it favors fighters like Acosta, who got her win, showed the blood on her knuckles. And we hope Mariel Celimen is bad. It was a really gnarly injury. You can't mess around when you're talking about your eyes. But there it is. Fantastic moment for Lucero Acosta. Fantastic moment for women's MMA, and a great night for Combate, Rodolfo.
I'm much excited, and we still got more. We got 2022, we got more events, and soon, a title fight, October 7th.
Looking forward to that. And we'll be back to our regular time next Friday. Roberto Romero, short layoff here, and he is back.
And my girl, Caroline Gallardo, Taz.
Arturo Vergara, Romero, that's going to be a fun
There
fight.
she is, there she is.
By the way, we thought Ivan Tena was the guy, and he still could be, but Roberto Romero became the guy when he beat him, and now he moves on to that's a cracking card for your viewing pleasure. We are out of time. On behalf of everyone here, Rodolfo Roman, Juliana Peña, my name is Max Pretos, Placido Domingo.
Meow.